but Leno is in goal. Castagna, Tosin, Bassi and Robinson the defence. Reed, Lukic, Iwobi, Wilson all come in the midfield. Pereira and Rodrigo Muniz, who really is in a rich vein of form. As I look across towards our left-hand side, and you've got Tom Heaton making his way up, one of the United squad players, the goalkeeper, and behind him is Rasmus Højlund, who is going to be a huge miss. Michael Brown.
Yeah, massive miss. Obviously just gaining his stride, the team playing better, he's getting more goals, more chances in around the penalty area. Obviously just shaking the legend's hands, Brian Robson, to our left-hand side, but yeah, interesting that the players are going to be missing that can really affect this type of football game, but you do think Manchester United with Fulham's away form should come on and really cause problems. So fascinating game, pressures on Manchester United.
Yeah, you've got Brian Robson, you've got Gary Pallister, you've got Dennis Irwin, the former Irish international, making his way to the director's box as we go half-time to Dublin. Ireland, Wales and the Six Nations. Sarah Mulkerrins.
Yeah, it's Ireland 17, Wales 0, going to form. 2 tries for the host. Dan Sheehan with the first, James Lowe with the second. He found space and powered over. Wales have defended well. They've forced Ireland, will feel frustrated at giving away a few more penalties than they would like when attacking. But it is Ireland well ahead at the break. Ireland 17, Wales 0.
Notice Mason Mount also gave a lovely warm embrace to Steve Cooper, the former Nottingham Forest manager, who's in the director's box away towards our left-hand side. So we're underway on what is a dry afternoon at Old Trafford. The clouds are high, there's the odd patch of blue sky, but they are starting to build up as we look up to the heavens, as Fulham in their whites and black shirts and black shorts play from right to left as we look. So they're attacking the Stretford end for Manchester United in their red shirts and white shorts, and Fulham, who haven't won here in the last 16 visits since 2003. Although you might recall last season an FA Cup tie when they were really handily placed. They could have in fact gone 2-0 up. Then they imploded. They had 2 players sent off. Marco Silva got sent off, which cost him about £40,000 and a 2-match touchline ban. And they ended up losing that FA Cup tie from what was a really good position. But that was Wiljana Mitrovic who dismissed. But Manchester United on a winning run of form at the moment, best form all season, and they need to continue that if they're to have any hopes of featuring in the top 4. But Mainoo's just been dispossessed. Iwobi plays the ball out towards Lukic, who challenged the young Manchester United player. Back it goes to Iwobi. So he's freshened things up, hasn't he, Marco Silva? And he'll be hoping that that pays dividends.
Yeah, he has. You know, his side happy getting the ball, moving it around. When you're missing Pellegrini, although he's the one who has that confidence, that aura to really dictate the game, the experience of Willian. But now they've started okay, Fulham, started to move the ball, but Manchester United look fresh. They want to play with tempo. Could be an interesting game, this, Deno.
The majority of Manchester United's games have been tight in the Premier League. 12 of their 14 victories have been by a 1-goal margin. It's another busy day of sport, as Mark said right at the top of the programme. Well, that was a late one. Forson just catching Bassi. Now the referee Michael Oliver has played an advantage, and Robinson has made good ground on this near side to left. Iwobi with the cross, easily headed away by Casemiro. It was a little bit of over-exuberance from Amari Forson on his full debut, as it remains 0-0, 2.5 minutes in. How have things started at Selhurst Park? John Southall.
Well, an early chance for Palace. Palace 0, Burnley 0. Corner on the left-hand side. Played to Jefferson Lerma on the edge of the area. Had plenty of time. Put it over the bar. Palace 0, Burnley 0.
BBC Radio 5 Live. You can also listen through the BBC Sounds app. And Sports Extra for Ireland, Wales and the Six Nations. And as soon as we're finished here at Old Trafford, straight to Murrayfield, Scotland against England. But for the uninterrupted coverage of that first half from Edinburgh, then you'll need to be on Sports Extra. The rugby coverage will not stop on Sports Extra throughout. Pereira shoots from the edge of the area, right-footed, patted down with ease by Onana.
Yeah, it was. It moved a bit right behind it. We had a good look at it. Pereira desperate to get a goal this afternoon. You can only imagine what that would mean to him. Good spell for Fulham. First couple of minutes, getting some passes, getting some moves going, but yeah, that youngster there, Forson, was diving in. Calvin Bassey could have stayed down. To be fair to him, he helped him out then. Oh, he got up to the initial contact and would have went back to it if he hadn't have.
Had a number of loans away from Old Trafford. Andreas Pereira, I'm thinking Valencia and Lazio. 75 appearances and 4 goals in his 8 years with the club as Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes on that far side. Morecambe 0, Grimsby Town 1 is the latest score in League 2. But we're going to go racing. It's at Kempton. John Hunt.
Just at the second last flight of hurdles now, Ian, in the Dovecote novice hurdle, and the favourite Lump Sum has just been produced from the back end of the field to hit the front. Fiercely Proud in second place, and back in third is Heidi Wood. Trainer Sam Thomas has made no disguise of how highly he rates this horse Lump Sum, and Lump Sum is over the last onto the run-in and maintaining quite comfortably a 4-length lead from Fiercely Proud in second place. So Lump Sum wins the Dovecote Novices hurdle, and Ian, I'm certain that horse will be at the Cheltenham Festival in just over 2 weeks' time.
Can't wait for that, John, and we'll be back with you for the 3:37, which is the Coral Trophy handicap chase at Kempton. But yeah, all building up to the Cheltenham Festival, in the second week of March. As we now go to Villa Park, where there's been a goal. Pat Murphy.
To Ollie Watkins and Aston Villa. Great work by McGinn. Defence-splitting pass. Terrific composure from Bailey. Beat his man, kept his feet, squared it to Watkins. Tap in. Goal number 14 in the league this season for Watkins. Villa 1, Forest 0.
Ball hoisted high towards Rashford and helped back by Bassey without touching the ball. He just held up the run of Rashford as it bounced through to Bernd Leno, all in blue. Ball from Robinson will give Iwobi something to chase, but all in green is Onana away towards our left, and then the touch almost presented the ball back towards Iwobi before he cleared long. But I just thought for a moment that could be interesting with him out of
You were on your own. I had a little think, whoa, what's he doing? He just took his time to the right hand side of the penalty area and a little bit of pressure. Obi going right in behind, but got rid of it, and he has to have it. But now Fulham just getting on the ball, just waiting for that press. Manchester United on the front foot.
Reading 0, Shrewsbury Town 1, Port Vale 0, Lincoln City 1, Lincoln unbeaten in 7. Port Vale have lost both of their games so far under Darren Moore. They're behind at Vale Park, and Rangers, who can go 5 points clear at the top. Well, I'll let Connie tell you the news.
Well, it was Mohamed Diame. Rangers' first surge forward, in actual fact. He managed to get the ball to his feet, found a little bit of space, and just managed to dink his shot past Sander Clark in the Hearts goal. Great start for Rangers. Rangers 1, Hearts 0.
Celtic play tomorrow at Motherwell. It's a 12 noon kick-off at Fir Park. There'll be updates during 5 Live Sport that will come live from Wembley Stadium ahead of the League Cup final tomorrow. 3 o'clock kick-off for Chelsea against Liverpool. But 5 Live and BBC Sounds here at Old Trafford. It remains 0-0 in the early stages. Doncaster Rovers lead Wimbledon by a goal to 0. And a goal now at Southampton in the Championship. Aaron Paul.
Lead for Millwall, Southampton 0, Millwall 1. Jaffa Tanganga has nodded the ball in from a long ball, but he's done himself some damage. He's laying down on the ground. Southampton 0, Millwall 1.
Joe Edwards, of course, sacked during the week. Neil Harris reappointed and off to a good start. They had lost 5 of their last 6, and Southampton will be feeling a little bit of pressure after Leeds United's victory against Leicester City at the top of the Championship last night at Ellen Road as they came from behind to win by 3 goals to 1. We welcome listeners to the BBC World Service wherever you are in the world. Always a pleasure to have your company. Here we are at Old Trafford, 0-0 between Manchester United and Fulham. Manchester United who've won their last 5. But it's with Fulham in possession. Robinson on this near side the left, makes a little run in field, creates the room then on the overlap for Iwobi on this near side the left. There's a little step over level with the penalty area. Dalot is in front of him, tries to chip the ball forward, strikes the hand of Dalot, and now Rashford is able to bring the ball away, and he was just caught by Robinson, and that will be a free kick, says referee Michael Oliver, to the home team.
Yeah, Anthony Robinson goes really quickly down that left-hand side. He wants to travel when there's space. Didn't come off for him, but then that recovery, as he gets back, just clips Rashford, still down, a little bit of a limp, but interesting. Manchester United leaving the 4 players really high. Garnacho, Forson, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, etc. But in the middle of the pitch, it's just not another link for the centre-backs. You've seen Varane try to get on it, ran under his foot, but got to drop down slightly if they want to play through.
Shrewsbury have got a second goal at Reading, so Reading 0, Shrewsbury 2. Cardiff in the Championship are leading Stoke City by a goal to 0 without a win in 4 before today for Cardiff. Notts County 0, Crewe 1, and Plymouth have taken the lead at the Riverside. So Middlesbrough 0, Plymouth Argyle 1 is a latest score in the Championship. You're up to date with the goals as they go in on BBC Radio 5 Live, where Villa already lead Forest by a goal to 0. No goals at the MX between Brighton and Everton, or indeed at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace against Burnley. Manchester United 0, Fulham 0, as Manchester United deal with this bouncing ball with Maguire to Lindelof. Comes under pressure from Harrison Reed. Lindelof, whose last start was early December against Chelsea. He's come off the bench in the last 3 successive games for Manchester United, playing in that unfamiliar role with the injury to Luke Shaw. And Fulham, from that throw on that right-hand side, Castagna will win a corner kick. It was a good run, corner kick to Fulham.
Yeah, good run. Nacho, great recovery. That ball's right, coming across to be fizzed. Just gets his body in the line of it, sends it out for a corner kick. How do they organise it? Who's marking? Is it going to be zonal? There's a couple of blockers, but nobody on the post at this moment in time for Manchester United.
Corner kick to Fulham, far side the right. Manchester United have every red shirt back. In it comes now, easily headed out by Casemiro. Sutton United, bottom of League 2, without a win in 10, have fallen behind. Pereira tries to play a flat ball in towards the penalty area. It runs out for a goal kick. Rotherham United, only 1 win in 21 in the Championship, but have taken the lead at Queen's Park Rangers. Queen's Park Rangers 0, Rotherham United 1. 10 minutes played here, and Manchester United yet to really pose any sort of a problem to this Fulham defence as the ball is played out from the back and then it goes back to Onana. So let's hear news of that Rotherham goal from Rich Wolfenden.
Yeah, Rotherham leading QPR 1-0. Tom Eaves scores again. He scored midweek against Ipswich. This time a brilliant right-footed finish over the shoulder of Begovic, and the away side have not won away all season in the league. A 1-0 up.
Here is Fulham in possession. Castagna, toss in. Now with Bassi. Nigerian international passes the ball out to Robinson, collects it over the halfway line, held up a little bit by Rashford, so passes the ball back to the halfway line, and then Bassi will pass it infield to Lukic, who's inside the centre circle, closed down by Bruno Fernandes. Bassi will go square, toss it, opens up his body, short ball to Reed, but because of the presence of Bruno Fernandes, they were unable to try and get past that press from the home team.
It's interesting that Manchester United, Garnacho going down the left-hand side and Rashford's dropped down to the right out of possession, just left Force and Bruno Fernandes, and that's saying, well, these two are not best running backwards in the defensive lines. We want to have extra security, but we know fully that Marcus Rashford doesn't like to do it for long periods either.
Here now is Robinson, a lot of room to run into. Dalot has backpedaled into the penalty area. Robinson goes, he pulls it back towards Iwobi. Iwobi now, Muniz to Reed. He goes square. Castagna. It's been a confident start this from Fulham. Pereira. They have actually taken the lead in their last 2 visits to Old Trafford have Fulham, and they're very much on the front foot here in the opening 12 minutes. Blackpool 0, Bolton Wanderers 1 is the latest score. Bolton, 3rd in League 1, unbeaten in 7, and Reading have got a goal back. Reading 1, Shrewsbury Town 2. Iwobi makes the run forward, but it's stopped by the chest of Dalot, and then the ball is hit by Forson and strikes the back of Kobe Mainu, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. Let's get an update then from the Amex, shall we? Brighton Everton, Henry Moran.
Still goalless. Brighton by far the better side. Danny Welbeck's shot from the edge of the box deflected just wide. All Brighton. It remains Brighton 0, Everton 0.
So they actually don't have a focal point, do they, Manchester United, through the centre, because Garnacho, as you say, is playing wide left. Rashford on the right as Fulham now attack, and Reed sprays the ball out. And this is Wilson, the former Liverpool player, back towards Reed, chips it forward, collected by Onana.
Frustration already, isn't it? No, there's not. Well, at times they've tried to stretch, tried to go a little bit quicker with runs in behind, but you can hear the frustration. Onana doesn't really help it when he looks and complains and saying, there's nobody there for me. He's got to relax with that one, but yeah, they drop it in, but Fulham, just not to rush it. It's got to keep moving Manchester United around.
Aston Villa, who have lost their last 3 at Villa Park, are looking to change that. They took an early lead. We'll go back there now. Pat Murphy.
The leading Forest 1-0. They made a great start. They're playing very well indeed. Watkins nearly got his second. Cut back from Ramsey. Didn't quite hit it cleanly. Deflected over his own bar for a corner by Danilo. Forest are second rate at the moment, no question about it. Villa lead 1-0.
Thanks, Pat. Forson links up with Rashford. Ball almost out towards Garnacho, but Castagna comes out of defence as he steps forward the right back, and now he hits the ball up towards Muniz, and now's the knockdown header, and Iwobi hits it first time down into the ground right-footed, and in the end it was probably about a foot wide of the left-hand post, out for a goal kick, 0-0. Michael Brown.
Yeah, long direct ball. Manchester United just couldn't deal with it. It drops down. Iwobi coming off that left-hand side. He's got to do better. He rushes it, hits it to the ground. We go Muniz, you finally see him against Varane, but this is a big chance. He really fluffs it, pulls it past the near post just outside the penalty area. It's got to hit the target there.
MK Dons are leading Newport County by a goal to nil in League Two. MK Dons 1, Newport County 0, 5 live, 14 minutes played. Scotland, England in the Six Nations from 4:45 will be on Sports Extra, and then as soon as the football is finished, we will cross live to Murrayfield with Chris Jones and the team. Here is Varane, right of the centre circle. Forson, first start, made 3 appearances off the bench. Read the latest reports, and he's refusing talk of a new deal for a player who made his debut at Wigan in the FA Cup. Into the penalty area it goes, and Tosin holds off a challenge of Garnacho, heads the ball behind for a corner kick. Quarter of an hour played, 0-0.
Yeah, finally getting in behind. Fulham, Tosin does well, just guides it out. Corner kick, those supporters behind the goal, more vocal. What type of quality can they produce? They do again a shot at target, they can do with getting a good delivery.
Corner kick then for Manchester United, far side the left. Bruno Fernandes swings this one in. Leno did well actually just to get a brush of that with his hand on the top of the head of Casemiro. Garnacho will collect it right corner of the area, comes onto his left foot, then plays the ball back. Dallo with the ball in, headed out by Muniz. Flag is up on this near side, and that will be a free kick to Fulham. I was posed with the challenge on Fact of the Day yesterday with Tony Livesey, and I've got to be honest, I was tempted not to actually mention it because Tony said it could spell the end of Fact of the Day, but then I thought, well, why spoil it for the nation? But given that Bruno Fernandes doesn't score many goals at Old Trafford, I thought I'd better do it now, because supposedly his goal celebration, where he puts his hands over his ears, is because his family are sick of his voice. Do you get that feeling in your household?
Quite often. I know who else does as well.
I'm sure that Tony's loved in his household, Michael. I can't believe you'd make such an accusation. 16 minutes played. Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. BBC Radio 5 live on the World Service and also on BBC Sounds. As the free kick for Fulham is knocked back short. Reed now with Bassi in the left of the centre circle. Robinson again is looking to get forward on this near side. With his pace he'll get there, and he hooks it high into the penalty area. Pereira rises early and they can't afford to take the chance, and it's headed back and out of play by Lindelof by Maguire in front of Lindelof.
Yeah, Anthony Robinson very direct from that left back position, gets right into an advanced position. Nobody can catch him. He just hooks it really well to the centre of the goal. Nana's wondering, can he get it? Maguire desperately trying to clear it away, but pressure's mounting.
Been a very, very encouraging 17 minutes for Fulham. 0-0. Corner kick, far side the right. Pereira to take it, headed out the near post. Easily by Bruno Fernandes. Robinson on the defensive duties, last line of defence on the edge of his own centre circle, and then it's back on the halfway line with Robinson, and because of Mainu going towards him, he passes the ball back to Bernd Leno, who's well out of his penalty area, but it's been in a short start.
It was a poor delivery though, wasn't it? You got the pressure on, you got everybody up, not to miss that first man. Delivery is key generally at this level. You see real quality, but that wasn't.
The former Fulham midfielder, Michael Brown, who is with us here today, made his debut for Fulham here at Old Trafford, as now Iwobi through the middle. Iwobi opens up for him, and Iwobi places it wide. That was another good chance for Iwobi. Edge of the area, right-footed, didn't hit the target. 0-0.
It's a great run into the centre of the field, and the runs around Pereira. The Grove to get that space, but it's in front of goal. It takes his touch inside and it opens where I'm not sure. It goes to pass into the far corner. It's not even close. And I get a little rerun. Marco Silva really disappointed down below. That he hasn't at least hit the target, tested the goalkeeper out. He stays near post there, Daniel, it's in.
Your debut here was February 2006. It was a 4-2 defeat. Not that you probably need reminding. Bristol Rovers 0, Carlisle 1 is the scoreline in League One. And Blackpool 1, Bolton 1 is an equaliser at Bloomfield Road. Sheffield Wednesday lead Bristol City by a goal to 0 in the Championship at Hillsborough. Manchester United are attacking. Dallo on this near side, back to Casemiro. Every outfield player now is in the half away towards our right as Maguire comes forward. And out it goes to Bruno Fernandes, 10 yards in from the left touchline. Back to Maguire, plays it back to Lindelof. And then the ball goes astray. It was a poor one from Lindelof. Fernandes had no chance of controlling that. So to Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace, Burnley, John Southall.
Palace 0, Burnley 0, but a bright start from Palace. 5 corners in these opening 19 minutes of the game. The wing-backs have been busy, but just that Lerma chance. Palace 0, Burnley 0.
He must have made an impression, though, with Chris Coleman, because he eventually made you captain, didn't he?
Well, sometimes he could do that. The man who was captain when I first signed is Marco Silva's assistant, Lewis Boamorte. He could mix it up as well. That was interested in training every now and then. The two of us get together.
A goal now at the Stadium of Light, Chris Coles.
And it's gone to the visitors, Swansea. Sunderland 0, Swansea 1. A first goal for the club for young Brazilian Ronaldo at the back post to capitalise. Taps in, and it's Sunderland 0, Swansea 1.
Salford, who are unbeaten in 8 since Carl Robinson took charge, have fallen behind at Field Bill in League 2. Mansfield second in the table, leading Salford 1-0. As Manchester United get a corner kick, 0-0 played, 20 minutes played 0-0.
Wonderful ball. Harry Maguire just stabs it over the top of Tosin. Bruno Fernandes, he's going to get it, but great recovery.
Bruno Fernandes then over on that far side. This should be right-footed. The right arm is aloft. It's an in-swinger now, and Bernd Leno under pressure as well to fist that ball away. And now there could be a break on, and it's with Lukic. Lukic has got Iwobi ahead of him, strikes the heels. Fortunately, it falls quite kindly for Lukic to pass the ball back towards Iwobi, delivers the cross. Lukic with a first-time effort, left-footed, deflected behind for a corner kick, 0-0.
Yeah, good numbers going forward. Lukic does well initially as he drives forward, tries to play it to Iwobi. It wasn't in front of him, come back to him, had another go. And then the quality down the right, good recovery runs. Manchester United are questioned at times about those, but Hino getting back, trying to drift the ball wide.
Another corner kick then for Fulham. It'll be another outswinger from Pereira on that far side to right as they play from right to left. In it comes, and the header is parried by Onana, and it almost came back towards Lukic, and he just couldn't quite control it. Actually struck his chest and then rebounded away from him. Might have been Beniz who got the first effort on target.
Yeah, it was. It was a wonderful ball. That was better, just away from that front block, but good right-hand save from Onana. And Lukic just couldn't get the follow-up, just slightly behind him, and another opportunity wasted from Fulham.
Should your former club be ahead then? The justice that they've created.
It should be now, shouldn't we? Yeah. The last two with the Iwobi, the last one in particular. The first one he hits into the ground, the second one you can see both posts, he's running forward, he can stay on it, he's got a lot of people around him, but and then that header was actually a good chance to the far post, another good save.
Sutton have equalised at home to Colchester in League 2, and also in League 2 at Meadow Lane. Notts County 0, Crewe 2 is a latest score. Castagna makes good ground on that far side to right, infield to Wilson, lays it off towards Pereira. Pereira is able to turn. We're approaching the midway point of the first half, and now this is with Calvin Bassey to toss it just outside the centre circle. Robinson is high up on this near side, the left. Iwobi making that run ahead of him was Lukic, but then they go back. Goal meanwhile at Barnsley in a featured game in League One. That's Premji.
Barnsley 0, Derby 1, corner in from the far side. Sonny Bradley with a header. Barnsley 0, Derby 1.
Top of the table clash, fourth versus second, and Paul Ward making a happy return to South Yorkshire for the former Rotherham United manager. Pereira's ball forward goes straight through to Onana. I was about to say we're going to go to the Amex, but there's been a try in the rugby. Sarah Mulkerrins.
Yeah, Ireland 17, Wales 7, a penalty try for the visitors. The ref went to TMO as a rolling maul went over the line to see if Wales had grounded it. During it, they saw that Tyg Byrne brought the maul down. He's been sent to the bin. Wales have been given a penalty try. It's Ireland 17, Wales 7.
Ireland still on course for the Grand Slam, as are England. and Sports Extra for commentary of Ireland against Wales in the Six Nations. 0-0 here. We will go to the Amex. Brighton, Everton, Henry Moran.
Still goalless, but it feels a matter of time. Brighton so dominant in this game. Welbeck again with side of goal. Godfrey making a fine saving challenge. Brighton 0, Everton 0.
Oxford United are leading Leyton Orient by a goal to 0. Burton 0, Northampton 1 is the latest score in League One. Dallow can't get forward on this near side. Well defended by Fulham, and a goal at Ewood Park in the Championship. Ellen Ellard.
Blackburn 0, Norwich 1. The informed side take the lead. Free kick on the edge of the D after Kenny McLean was brought down. Marcelino Nunes stood over it, and it just nestled so beautifully in the back of Ainsley Pearce's net. Blackburn 0, Norwich 1.
Still goalless here at Old Trafford. Villa still lead Forest by a goal to 0. No goals at Selhurst Park or indeed at Brighton. Manchester United have a throw on this near side, and Dallow is preparing to take it, but there's not a great deal of movement for it.
No, there's not. That's the difficulty. Fulham just ringing it around. But again, Fulham really good in possession, getting forward. It's that last pass. That's the problem. The counter-attack's on, isn't it, for Manchester United? That's what they're relying on. Nacho just almost getting in behind.
Bruno Fernandes tried to slice open the Fulham defence, but he was prevented from Castagna, who was alert, tucked in, prevented that diagonal ball reaching Garnacho on that far side, the United left. Fulham are now coming forward on their left, this near side. Iwobi's short ball to Muniz, cleared by Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes links up with Rashford, who drops deep. Casemiro passes the ball forward. Garnacho has made the run, but I think there was a foul there. Oh no, the foul is going to go in favour of Manchester United, and we're going to see Michael Oliver show a yellow card to Tosin for just pulling back Garnacho, or holding him back.
Yes, it's just come across. What about the pace from Robinson just on that recovery run? Excellent, but assistant referee down to the right, flag goes up, he makes the decision, spots that foul. It's one of those as well. Now Fernandes and Maguire, what they're asking for, they want more on Tosin. I'm sure they're going to get it.
Well, it could have never been a goal-scoring opportunity because Garnacho is actually running away from goal. So if that's what Bruno Fernandes is complaining to, yes, he was further forward, but it was never going to be a goal-scoring opportunity. So in that sense, Michael Oliver has made the correct decision by showing a yellow
card. Do you know what, when we get another look as well, it's just that pull of the shirt, just pulls it away and just stops him getting into an advanced position. Lots of words being said down in the technical areas. Again, now opportunity for Manchester United. This is what they want. Set piece, back post, Maguire possibly.
I thought you'd finished then. Sorry, not once but twice. You'll be cupping your ears like Bruno Fernandes very soon. Exeter 1, Fleetwood 0. MK Dons 2, Newport County 0. Fernandes now with a flat free kick in. Hasn't been dealt with by Bassi. Rashford is there. Tries to get a shot away. Comes back towards Maguire. He tees up Garnacho. Garnacho waits. Garnacho tries to place it. Very good header away by Robinson. Still the danger remains. Header from Maguire. Maguire then slices it. 7 yards out. Wouldn't really come down for him. They had several opportunities in. Not quite a scramble, but an active penalty area.
Yeah, what about Maguire there? Putting everything into the header. Bassi just falling to the floor and it just doesn't drop. It wasn't the greatest of set pieces at the start of it. Maguire ends it with that strike just over the top.
There was a pause there just in case you wanted to continue. Ross County 1, Livingston 0. Stevenage are leading Wickham by a goal to 0 at Broadhall Way. You're up to date. We'll go to Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
Forest getting a chasing here. They're 1-0 down to Watkins, and Murilla's been booked for a clattering challenge. Just now, a lovely five-man move ended with the left-footed Bailey predominantly hitting a low ball with his right foot, surprising the keeper who turned it for a corner. Forest 1. Villa 1 rather, Forest 0.
So Villa lead by a goal to 0. Still no goals between Brighton and Everton. Robinson's forward run on this near side, the left, is curbed by Dallow, who then gives the ball away to Pereira, left-hand side of the penalty area. Pereira with the cross. Muniz was there, and it required alert defending by Lindelof just to nip in front of him and head the ball behind for a corner kick. Fulham are the better side.
Lindelof does so well under pressure on that back post. It was all about the run. I said it earlier. Robinson going all the way to the byline, causing problems, and Pereira just fizzing it right across the face. And as you said, how have Fulham not scored so far in this game?
Bristol City have equalised in the Championship. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Bristol City 1. Corner kick to Fulham, 28 minutes played, far side the right. Pereira again to take it. It's another outswinger. Muniz again with a header, strikes the legs of Casemiro in front of the near post and goes out of play for another corner kick. It was that same routine that one had forced a save from Onana just moments before. Now, on this occasion, Pereira has just bounced the ball very, very quickly about 3 times. So it's a change. As he plays it short, they work it out towards Reed, back towards Pereira, far side level of the area, tries to slide it in towards Iwobi. Blocked by Forson on his full debut, the teenage midfielder. Pereira, though, picks it up. Forward ball towards Castagna, prevented from a sliding Mainu. Goal of the Stadium of Light, Chris Coles.
A second for the visitors, Swansea, who now lead Sunderland by 2 goals to 0. Ronald again, great touch in the area, fired into the bottom corner, and it's Sunderland 0, Swansea 2.
Mike Dodds in interim charge until the end of the season after Michael Beale was sacked during the week. Blackpool have come from behind. They lead Bolton Wanderers at home by 2 goals to 1. And there are no other goals to tell you about, as here we are at Old Trafford on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service, with 15 minutes remaining. Incidentally, because of Scotland, England to come in the Six Nations on 5 Live, the second half of Bournemouth-Manchester City will be on 5 Live. The first half will be on Sports Extra. And then it's 6:06 from around 7:30, 08085909693. I wonder if they'll be happy or disgruntled Crystal Palace fans calling 6:06. We'll find out the mood now with John Southall.
Well, they're just cranking it up. Palace 0, Burnley 0. Munoz cross from the right-hand side. There was Edouard at the back post. Good save by Trafford to his right-hand side. Palace 0, Burnley 0.
There is a shaft of sunlight coming from the left-hand side right into the face of Bernd Leno, who, all in blue, controls it now, passes the ball back to Tosin, and they play out from the back very, very well. Pereira is able to collect this ball on the halfway line, and then he passes the ball back to Robinson. Another goal at Villa Park, Pat Murphy.
To Douglas Luiz and Aston Villa. Another fine move, orchestrated again by Bailey. Perfect pass, right foot finish, 10 yards out. Villa 2, Forest 0. They're good value for this.
So that will take Aston Villa to 52 points. It increases the pressure on Manchester United to get something, and 3 points would only do for Manchester United in their pursuit of a Champions League place. They can't gamble on that 5th spot becoming available for English clubs. But with Villa leading at Villa Park 2-0 against a troubled Nottingham Forest, you'd think the points would already be safe for Villa. So Manchester United have to match that here today.
They have to, and you felt like it is a game that they could go and win. But it's Fulham who've really set the tempo, the movement. Again, if you keep the ball and move Manchester United around, we do know that they're still struggling to cope with that type of performance against them, but finally getting into better positions now.
Dalot with a shot. Dalot just clips the base of the left-hand post. It was a fine effort. It was always going away from goal. Dalot, who's yet to score in the Premier League at Old Trafford. Very unfortunate, with Manchester United's best effort 14 minutes before the break.
It didn't look that way. He's touched 25 yards out. He sort of fizzes it across the face of the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper just desperately going to that right-hand side. So he just clips the base. The frustration as he jumps, hits the floor, and realises there'll be some goal for him.
Plymouth, without a win in 4, are leading at the Riverside. Middlesbrough 0, Plymouth 2, MK Dons 3, Newport 0 is the latest score in League 2. And there are no other goals to tell you about elsewhere. But 13 minutes to go to half-time. Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. Onana, long ball downfield. Little flick on there by Bruno Fernandes. He's gone down, he took a blow to the head. Garnacho picks up that loose ball, now leaves it, and then Mainoo's placed it horribly wide, right-footed. Goal kick, 0-0.
That's a really poor effort. Not sure what Mainoo was thinking. Just a little bit of a smile and just hits the ground. Garnacho again causing problems. Initial sort of flick on, bit of contact they were asking for, but in that sort of area, on the edge of the area, as a midfield player coming forward, you've got to do better than that.
Ross County 2, Livingston 0 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Back to the Amex, Henry Moran.
And for the first time in the game, Everton create an opportunity. Calvert-Lewin with the header wide. Brighton have been so dominant in this game, and it remains Brighton 0, Everton 0.
That shaft of sunlight has certainly expanded, but for the time being, Bernd Leno doesn't require a cap. Plays the ball out with his feet, launches a counter-attack. Pereira now coming forward, a strong run. Iwobi finds him in the inside left channel of the penalty area, passes the ball in field. Nice sharp turn by Muniz. He hits the post. How unfortunate have Fulham been in this first half. Lovely play by Rodrigo Muniz, right-footed. Onana was flat-footed, and it hits the right-hand post and behind and out for a goal kick.
Wonderful centre forward play. Counter attack was there, but as the ball comes across the face just past the penalty spot, he has no right, gets his body and turns really quickly. Hits the post, great power. He's one who's certainly getting better and better. Under a bit of pressure, they're bringing Broja, now he's improved.
Despite the sunshine, rain is now falling at Old Trafford. So Jim Ratcliffe might be looking for that pot of goal. Not that he necessarily needs it. And certainly will be hoping that this tired stadium doesn't start leaking.
You're not supposed to smile when you say good things like that, you know, like as if you really enjoyed it. It's good though, wasn't it? Well, it's all right. Did you have that written down, or is that just off the back?
I didn't look at the weather forecast, I'm not that detailed. Goal at Portman Road, Becky Ives.
And it's gone to Ipswich. Connor Chaplin with the finish. The shot came in originally from Sam Morsey from distance, but it hit Connor Chaplin. I think he sort of flicked it with the inside of his ankle, and it's gone past the keeper, John Ruddy. So Ipswich 1, Birmingham 0.
If there is a pot of gold, Michael, I hope I find it before Sir Jim does. Forward ball, Bruno Fernandes can't take it in his stride and just diverts the ball out of play for a goal kick. Cardiff 2, Stoke City 0 elsewhere in the Championship. But Muniz, he's in a rich vein of form, isn't he? I mean, he'd gone 23 games previously for Middlesbrough and Fulham without a goal. He's scored 4 goals in his last 3. Yeah, and he could have put another one there.
Yeah, they were wondering, you know, which way he was going to go. So brought in a marquee signing right on the deadline date. Broja on that loan deal, but then he seems to have just turned the corner. Might realise that he's got to do it now, when it's going to be the end of his Fulham career.
So Fulham have created, well, by my reckoning, 4 really good opportunities. 2 for Iwobi, the Muniz header that was parried by Onana, and Lukic on the follow-up just couldn't bring it under control, and then Muniz hitting the post. That was a little bit late.
He's in trouble there. His hands came up. Let's see if they can counter Deno.
Meanwhile, Harry Maguire was very late. Robinson with the cross, it goes out of play. That was on Lukic, who stayed down. Lukic felt it straight away by Harry Maguire. And a yellow card is going to be shown here by Michael Oliver to the England international.
We'll see now. Oliver just steps forward, but still down. He's in trouble, Deno.
Well, there has been a red card, and it's been shown at Selhurst Park. John Southall.
Burnley are down to 10 men. Crystal Palace 0, Burnley 0. Josh Brownhill just leaving the field now. Pull back Jefferson Lerma through on goal. Brownhill's been shown the straight red. Palace have a free kick on the edge of the D. Palace 0, Burnley 0.
Maguire on Lukic. The Fulham players surrounding the referee at the minute. There are 4 of them. Rob Jones is the VAR. He'll be having a look at this. Meanwhile, a goal at Southampton, Aaron Paul.
Southampton back on level terms. Saints 1, Millwall 1, and they'll be camped in the Millwall half. A long ball played forward into the box, and there was Che Adams with the glancing header past Mateusz Sarkic. Southampton 1, Millwall 1.
Southampton needed that. Remember, Ipswich are leading at home to Birmingham City. I just say I'd like to wish Tony Mowbray all the very, very best as well. His former Middlesbrough teammate Gary Pallister is just sat alongside us to our left-hand side, but Tony's receiving medical treatment. He'll be away from the dugout for a number of weeks, and Mark Venus, his trusted lieutenant, is taking charge of Birmingham at Portman Road. But everybody at 5 Live would like to wish Tony all the very best with that treatment. As we'll go back to Aston Villa and Pat Murphy.
Villa lead 2-0. They're playing some great stuff. Murillo, brilliant interception, denying Bailey. Bailey, a beautiful pass to Luiz. He was in, but Murillo stretched just in time. Niakate vulnerable on the left flank. They've got to change things at half-time, Forest. Villa 2, Forest 0.
Bristol Rovers have equalised at home to Carlisle. That's 1-1. Northampton have increased their lead at Burton. Burton 0, Northampton 2 is the latest in League One. You had a chance to look at it again. You're happy that Michael Oliver, the yellow is sufficient?
I was just waiting to see what VAR thought of it, you know, when he come back, because I'm just sure Michael Oliver's seen it in full flow. It's one of those, Harry Maguire just lost the ball, it runs away from him, he's sort of lunging, and he does catch him on the ankle. Some people will say as the ankle just moves away, endangered the opponent, and I'm sure a few might think a little bit different. Not sure there's any intent by Harry Maguire, but it was a nasty one.
Rob Jones, the VAR, clearly happy that the yellow card was sufficient. Players back underway. Here is Mainu, throws the ball through. Rashford nips in. Rashford pulls it back almost from the byline. How did he do that? And it was cleared away by Tosin. Dallo keeps the ball in play on this near side, the right. Was expecting that to hit the side netting. It was almost parallel with the right-hand
He
post.
hits it into the ground, so like it bops it down, which gets it across. Lucky there's nobody there for Fulham.
St Mirren 1, St Johnstone 0, his latest score in the Scottish Premiership. Lukic running forward now, the heart of the United defence. Casemiro can't keep up with him. To Pereira. Pereira with a curling effort and a flying save by Onana. Full stretch away to his left. Out it goes behind for a corner kick. Goal at Oakwell in League One, Nas Premji.
Barnsley 1, Derby 1. Blockbuster strike from distance from Adam Phillips for the home side. Barnsley 1, Derby 1.
Marco Silva. If it remains 0-0, and there hasn't been a goalless draw in the last 82 meetings since a goalless draw at Manchester United in January 1924, but if Fulham don't score here today, then Marco Silva will be thinking, how have we not found the back of the net on the 5 opportunities they've created?
It was a great counter. There's 3 or 4 white shirts, and it's a good position, good effort, good save.
Corner kick comes in from the right, headed out by Varane. Towering header by Raphael Varane from the French international defender, Reed, to Iwobi with the cross, caught by Onana. Hibs are leading Dundee at Easter Road 1-0 in the Scottish Premiership. Reading 2, Shrewsbury 2 is a latest score in League One. Remember, Villa lead Forest 2-0, Brighton 0, Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0, Burnley 0, but Burnley are down to 10 men. Josh Brownhill has been sent off.
Just going back to that strike, Pereira as he gets it to the left-hand side, wonderful curling effort, but great delay from Harry Maguire, centre of the pitch.
Garnacho with a cross, tucked in was Robinson, fired back in by Casemiro, and that was easily dealt with by the goalkeeper Bernd Leno. Another goal at Villa Park, Pat.
Another one for Douglas Luiz. It's 3-0. Another brilliant goal made by McGinn, predominantly a left-footed player. That's what Forrest saw. Switches to his right, curling centre, powerful header by Luiz. That's 9 league goals for a midfielder, Luiz, this season. Forest are 3-0 down, and they deserve it.
Aston Villa 3, Nottingham Forest 0, and for Nottingham Forest, well, still with that likely points deduction to come, it could be a rather squeaky end to the campaign for Nottingham Forest, as Manchester United are attacking with Garnacho, left corner of the area. Garnacho runs in field. Garnacho, good save by Leno, full stretch away to his left. Behind it goes for a corner kick straight to Ibrox. Conor McLaughlin.
Rangers 2, Forest Oscar Cortez adding that second. He was in acres of space down the left-hand side, a right-footed shot in past Sander Clark. Remember, Rangers aiming to go 5 points clear of Celtic, who play tomorrow. Rangers 2, Hearts 0.
Yeah, Motherwell at noon. Regular updates into 5 Live Sport. 0-0 here. Both sides have produced flying saves for either keeper. Both sides have hit the post. But 4 minutes to go to half-time. It remains Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. Bruno Fernandes to take the corner kick near side the right. He then rolls it short to Garnacho. Back to Bruno Fernandes. His ball is headed out by Wilson. Comes to Dalot. Dalot stopped by Wilson. Pereira dispossessed by Mainu. Lifted out to this near side by Lindelof. Garnacho keeps it in play. Gets away from the sliding challenge of Pereira. But the referee has given a free kick. And Pereira is going to be shown a yellow card for a show of dissent, because I think the referee has booked Pereira for the initial challenge by him, and then as Pereira has voiced his unhappiness, he threw his right arm in the air in annoyance to the referee, and the referee will be having none of that, and Pereira on his return to Old Trafford is shown yellow.
I mean, you can't get me started on that. He's got his arm, he has got it towards Michael Oliver. It was only because of the build-up. He thought, easy one for me now, I'll give him that one. United crowd will be happy. But the tackle, it was a little bit sort of outstretched, but he was nowhere near him, pulled away, brilliant from Garnacho. He moves his body so quickly, and now, not the only one in trouble as he moves it back. Marco Silva not happy.
When you said because of the yellow card, you don't get me talking about...
Yeah, because he does go like that with his arm, as if to say, come on, that's not a foul, you know? But yeah, I understand he can do a little bit. Was it borderline, or was it far too much?
Almost like Brown-esque behaviour.
Well, yeah.
Free kick from Bruno Fernandes, flicked away, only as far as Garnacho. Garnacho pulls it back, and then Forson rifles it in left-footed. Good block by the Fulham defence. There was a body of players in there. Fulham have lost the ball. Forson Back it goes to Varane. We're going to go racing now. It's the Coral Trophy handicap chase at Kempton. John Hunt.
Just two to jump, and Al Dance is out in front here, Ian, but challenged now by Bow to Greatness, who's owned by Harry Redknapp. Harry is here to see his horse run today. He's second. Third place at the moment for the favourite Blackjack Magic, and then Phlegmatic in fourth. They come down towards the final fence then, and Al Dancer's found a little bit more with the lead. Al Dancer leads by a length and a half at the last fence. Phlegmatic finishing off well. Then in third place, Forward Plan staying on like he's just started, like a fresh horse, and Forward Plan gets up to land the prize. Forward Plan, the winner from Al Dance, About to Greatness, and Phlegmatic. Forward Plan is trained by Anthony Honeyball, and a big win for young jockey Ben Godfrey. I'd say, Ian, that's the biggest success of his career to date. Forward Plan, the plan's come good at Kempton.
It is if you backed it. I'm not sure what happened to Blackjack Magic. That just seemed to disappear after getting an early mention there. As Onana, right out in the centre circle to the left-hand side, out towards Bruno Fernandes. We've got about 60 seconds remaining. Stoke City have got a goal back. Cardiff 2, Stoke 1 is the latest score in the Championship. Fernandes with a cross from the left. Bassi heads it up rather than away. Falls to Garnacho. Garnacho able to turn with his back to the penalty area. Finds Bruno Fernandes. It's a chip ball into the box. Varane stayed forward. Headed away by Robinson. Mansfield 1, Salford 1. Salford have equalised at Field Bill in League 2. Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. Casemiro swings over the cross of all people. Headed out by Tosin deep inside his own penalty area. Garnacho on that far side, the left, and then back to Mainu. Just lacking a cutting edge, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. That last strike actually hit Victor Lindelof really hard in the mid-drift, heading towards the goal, but Manchester United moving it around, but with no real sort of strong efforts or clinical bits in front of goal. Fulham being really good, you've got to say, in this first half.
I'm going to say, Fulham's forward plan hasn't been found wanting. Manchester United's has at times, but they're on the front foot now. It's Garnacho. Garnacho's cross takes the deflection, takes it away from Force. 2 minutes of added on time, which we're now into here on BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and also the World Service. And because of the rugby straight away after the football, all the reaction we'll try and give you at the various stages. But if not, it'll be on the 5 Live Football Daily Poll. Penalty at Southampton, Aaron Paul.
And it's been scored by Sian Fleming of Millwall. Michael Obafemi won it. His shot was handled by a Southampton defender, and Obafemi just sticks it past Gavin Bazunu. Southampton 1, Millwall 2.
So Millwall back in front. Remember, Ipswich still lead Birmingham by a goal to nil. Villa in the Premier League, a 2-0 up, a 3-0 up at home to Nottingham Forest, and still no goals between Brighton, Everton, Crystal Palace, Burnley, but Burnley are down to 10 men. Update now from Lansdowne Road, Sarah Mulkerrins.
Yeah, 64 minutes gone. It's Ireland 17, Wales 7. A lot of pressure from Wales in this second half. No result for it, though. They've had most of the ball. They've been let down by their discipline. The only effort to note for Ireland, Bundy Aki looked to have finished off a team try with a nice step and a swerve, but that was ruled out by the TMO. So about 15 minutes to go here. It's Ireland 17, Wales 7.
Commentary continues on Sports Extra. We're in stoppage time here at Old Trafford. The light shower, I think, has ceased, as the grey skies still hover over the Stretford end away towards our left-hand side. That's the end that Manchester United will be attacking, as Wilson could be shown a yellow card here for a trip on Garnacho, and indeed he is. That's the third Fulham player to be booked by referee Michael Oliver.
Yeah, well, in that advanced position now is the last chance for Manchester United in this first half. You don't really want to be given free kicks in these positions away, but Garnacho can go quickly as he just steps across him. Also, as we get another look into his calf, and down he goes. Now they've got to defend this. It's a big chance for Manchester United, because it's not been a great first half, has it really?
Not for the home side, it hasn't. It certainly has for Fulham, other than not scoring. Fernandes with the free kick. It drops into the penalty area, headed out by Bassi. Flags up on this near side. In fact, that signals the end of a first half where Fulham will be thinking, how are we not leading with the chances that they've created? 2 for Iwobi, 2 for Muniz. Pereira also producing a flying save. They've been excellent, Fulham. Michael Brown.
Yeah, really good. Been patient at times in the build-up, and then move things around. Great bodies and counter-attacks really quick. It's just the quality at the top of the pitch. Notably, Iwobi coming in off that left-hand side, getting into good positions on the edge of the area. Doesn't take the chances really you've got to at Manchester United. Pereira as well, that wonderful effort right into the far post. So several good chances for Fulham. Manchester United have got to improve in the second half. You can hear the frustrations all around.
Dello and Garnacho both going close for Manchester United. Sheffield Wednesday, incidentally, back in front 2-1 at Hillsborough against Bristol City, and Rangers lead Hearts 3-0. But here at Old Trafford, it's Manchester United 0, Fulham 0.
Details of that third Rangers goal from Connie.
Cyril Dexter's mark, who eventually got the ball into the back of the net. I thought it was actually offside. They were just checking it with VAR there, but the goal's been given. Close range, not at home, just to the right-hand side as Dander Clark into the back of the net. Rangers doing their best to grab this 5-point lead. If it stays this way, that's what will happen. Rangers 3, Hearts 0.
Ipswich were a goal up in the Championship. Last time we were with Becky Ives. Now, Becky?
Yeah, it's been an equaliser against the run of play completely. Birmingham on the counter-attack. The ball came down the right-hand side, cut. Really simple goal, just cut back into the centre spot where James Jordan was just hovering and fired it into the back of the net. It's almost half-time. Ipswich fans will have missed that because they're going to get the half-time snacks. Vegas Ritz 1, Birmingham 1.
Half-time whistle's gone at Selhurst Park. John Southall.
Crystal Palace 0, Burnley 0, eventful half, one that Palace have dominated. There's an energy about them. They've had 9 corners, which is a bonus for Burnley, given their awful record from set pieces. They've defended those. James Trafford also excelled himself to deny Edouard. Then the sending off. Josh Brownhill pulled back, Jefferson Lerma went through on goal, straight red, and that could be the defining moment of the game. What a chance now for Oliver Glasner to win his first game in charge. Half-time, 0-0.
Forest Green Rovers have scored right on the stroke of half-time at home to Tranmere. They lead by a goal to nil. They've only won one of their last 17 in the league of Steve Cotterell's side. Half-time at Brighton in the Premier League. Henry Moran.
Brighton 0, Everton 0. For all of Brighton's dominance, they've not found a way through. Welbeck, Dunn, Van Heck all having good opportunities. The game almost exclusively played in Everton's half, much of it through the outstanding Simon Adingra. I sense Everton would take a draw at this point. They've been poor. Brighton 0, Everton 0.
The only goals in the Premier League so far, and there have been 3 of them, have come at Villa Park and all to the home side. Pat Murphy.
They played brilliantly. I can guarantee a standing ovation any second now when the referee blows for half-time. Assist superbly by Bailey, Ramsey, McGinn. 2 goals for Louise, 1 for Watkins. It could have been more. Villa 3, Forest 0.
Thank you. So the half-time whistle about to go there. Remember, at 5:30, Bournemouth against Manchester City. We'll have commentary of the second half here on 5 Live. It will begin on Sports Extra at the conclusion of the Calcutta Cup. England in Scotland at Murrayfield. That will be here on 5 Live from around 4:45. They've squeezed in another goal on the stroke of half-time at Villa. Which way, Pat?
It's gone to Forest, and Niakate, who's had the nightmare first half, has chested in a headed knock-on from a corner from Awoniyi. They do not deserve this, Forest, but the fact is, it's Villa 3, Forest 1.
Let's go back to the Six Nations. Ireland, Wales, Sarah Mulkerrins.
Yeah, about 12 minutes to go, and it's Ireland 24, Wales 7. They've got their third try for the hosts. This one from Kieran Frawley under the post. Nice line from him at pace to latch onto the pass. Nice try as well for him on his first Six Nations start. It's Ireland 24, Wales 7.
Let's go back into the Championship. Chris Coles, Sunderland, Swansea.
Sunderland 0, Swansea 2. Sunderland have been thoroughly outclassed by Swansea, who should be out of sight. Young Brazilian Ronaldo has been the star of the show. He's a letter shy of Ronaldo, but he's played a bit like him today, and he's even copied his trademark celebration, which we've seen twice after he pounced at the back post to finish a rebound and then expertly controlled a volley into the corner. Sunderland fortunate the damage isn't much worse. Sunderland 0, Swansea 2.
Let's go to Ellen Ellard next. Blackburn, Norwich.
Yeah, Blackburn 0, Norwich 1. Nunes' first goal of the season, the difference. But apart from that, a fairly even first half between 2 sides with opposing ambitions this season. Blackburn have had a number of chances to level out the scoreline. Callum Britton has come close, and Sammy Smodic looks absolutely desperate to find the back of the net after the birth of his second child earlier on today, getting himself in some really good positions. But it is still Blackburn 0, Norwich 1.
Kilmarnock has scored on the stroke of half-time to lead Aberdeen by a goal to nil in the Scottish Premiership. Heck of a first half at Reading. They were 2-0 down. They got it back to 2-2, and now Shrewsbury have taken the lead, and they lead by 3 goals to 2. Tom Bloxham has got that one for Paul Hurst's side. Back to Pat Murphy.
3-1 at half-time. Unai Emery has stalked off ahead of everybody else into the tunnel. The Villa head coach, he must be furious at that light goal there by Niakate. chesting in a head-on from a corner from a winning yet. They do not deserve that, Forest. They've been outplayed in every area, picked up 2 bookings, and Niakate, who scored that goal, I'll be very interested to see if he lasts this game, because Forest have really concentrated the absence of the injured Tavares, and they've really worked on Niakate. 2 goals to Louise, 1 for Watkins, full value plus Villa. Villa lead Forest 3-1.
Final whistle has gone in Scottish League 2, and Dumbarton have beaten Stranraer by 2 goals to 1. The early game in the Championship finished Hull 1, West Brom 1, and it's also 1-1 at half-time at Portman Road. Becky Ives.
I have to say, a surprising scoreline. Ipswich very much more the dominant side for large parts of that game, and they got themselves ahead thanks to Connor Chaplin. After 30 minutes, it was Sam Morsey with a shot 25 yards out. Connor Chaplin in the middle of the box, improvised, flicked the ball to divert it the wrong way from John Ruddy. It was a very clever goal, and you just thought Ipswich were all over this, but in Birmingham's pretty much only attack in that first half, Koji Miyoshi ran like the wind down the wing, cut it back to John James, who was waiting in the middle of the box, and he buried it to silence Portman Road on 44 minutes. Ipswich 1, Birmingham 1.
Let's go to St Mary's, where there could be a shock on the cards. Aaron Paul.
Yeah, Southampton 1, Millwall 2. Cries of Super Neil Harris from the away, and this has been an absolute throwback of a Millwall performance, and they crucially have a lead at the break. Jeff Tanganga's header broke the deadlock 5 minutes in, but Southampton then flexed their muscles twice. Millwall having to clear up the line as Saints push for a leveller. They then got it by going route 1. Armstrong's long ball, met by the head of Che Adams, made it 1 each. Jan Bednarek then conceded a penalty, handling an Obafemi shot. Up steps Ian Fleming to make it Southampton 1, Millwall 2 at the break.
So Rotherham have won just one of their last 21 in the Championship, but at half-time at QPR, Rich.
Yeah, QPR 0, Rotherham 1. Tom Eaves' early goal. He scores his second in 5 days. His finish flying past the shoulder of Asmir Begovic. QPR have had chances through Chair and Frey, but no glory for them yet. Half-time, and say it quietly, but Rotherham are winning away 1-0.
Elsewhere in the Championship, Cardiff lead Stoke by 2 goals to 1. Cardiff's goals coming from Kian Atete, 6 of the season, and Carlan Grant. Sheffield Wednesday are 2-1 up on Bristol City. Ike Ugbo has got both of the goals for Sheffield Wednesday. Jason Knight with his 7th of the season, the goal for Bristol City. And at Vicarage Road this afternoon, it is Watford 0, Huddersfield 0. Into League One earlier, Cambridge 0, Peterborough 1. The game of the day is at Oakwell. Barnsley against Derby, Naz Premji.
Barnsley 1, Derby 1 mark. A cracking top of the table clash here at Oakwell. Derby took the lead through Sonny Bradley's header from Conor Hurahan's corner early doors. Barnsley level though with a blockbuster strike from Adam Phillips. He took 1 touch to control, and on the volley 25 yards out into the top corner. Plenty of effort and endeavour from both these sides after those goals. It's a cracking second half in store here. Barnsley 1, Derby 1.
A good game between Blackpool and Bolton. Blackpool in 8th, Bolton in 3rd, unbeaten in their last 7, but Bolton trail at the break at Bloomfield Road. Blackpool 2, Bolton 1. Bristol Rovers 1, Carlisle 1. Josh Vella got the Carlisle goal, the former Arsenal youngster was also at Bolton, wasn't he? And Bristol Rovers equalised through Chris Martin's 14th of the season. Burton 0, Northampton 2. Charlton 0, leaders Portsmouth 0. Exeter, who've lost their last 2 in the league, lead Charlie Adams Fleetwood by a goal to 0. Tyler Goodrum's 10th of the season for Oxford is the difference between themselves and Leyton Orient at the break. Lincoln unbeaten in 7, lead at Port Vale by a goal to 0. As I say, cracking game at Reading. Shrewsbury were 2-0 up. Reading got it back to 2-2 on the stroke of half-time. Shrewsbury have retaken the lead. They lead by 3 goals to 2, and it's Stevenage 1, Wickham 0. In League 2 this afternoon, we're with the leaders Stockport at home to Swindon. Lee Blakeman.
0-0, the visitors with the game's best chance by a mile. Kokolo with a shot inside the area, saved by the keeper. El Buzaidi running onto the rebound, hit the post with it. Stockports have gone close with Tanto Alafe, who forced a great save from Swindon keeper Bycroft. Madden, Sarcevic and Hippolyte have all had good chances for the home team too, but at half-time it's Stockport 0, Swindon 0.
Bailey Cargill's just scored in the 9th minute of first half stoppage time, and Mansfield leads Salford by 2 goals to 1, and they're still playing there now in the 11th minute of stoppage time. Elsewhere in League 2, Accrington 0, Crawley 0. Doncaster lead AFC Wimbledon by a goal to 0. Forest Green Rovers looking for only their second win in 18 in the league, or a goal upon Tranmere at half-time. Gillingham 0, Wrexham 0, Harrogate 0, Walsall 0. Half-time whistle has gone at Mansfield. They lead Salford by 2 goals to 1. Newport, who have been in great form, won 5 of their last 6, have had a miserable first half at Stadium MK. MK Dons lead them by 3 goals to 0. It's Morecambe 0, Grimsby 1. Danny Rose with that goal, 14 for the season for him. Notts County, who've won just 1 of their last 7, trail at the break to inform Crewe. Notts County 0, Crewe 2. Crewe second being scored by Elliot Nevitt, 13 for the season for him. And it is Sutton United 1, Colchester 1. In the National League earlier, Eastleigh beat Bromley by 2 goals to 0. Half-time, Altrincham 1, Maidenhead 2. Barnet are a goal upon York. Boreham Wood 3, AFC Fylde 0. Leaders Chesterfield 0, Rochdale 0. Dagenham and Redbridge 0, FC Halifax 0. Dorking 1, Ebbsfleet 2. Gateshead are a goal up at home to 10-man Oxford City. Oldham 0, Kidderminster 1. Solihull Moors 1, Hartlepool 0. Southend 0, Aldershot 1. And Woking 0, Wealdstone 0. Into the Scottish Premiership. Great first half for the home side at Ibrox. Connie McLaughlin.
Yeah, half-time it's Rangers 3, Hearts 0, and they definitely mean business, the home side. I don't think a lot of people, Mark, would have anticipated this to be so one-sided. Neither of these sides have dropped a point this calendar year. But Rangers scored in the first minute of the first half through Mohamed Diamande, and in the last minute of normal time through Cyril Dessers with an Oscar Cortes strike in between that. Hearts failed to register a shot on target. I think that tells its own story. It's been a bit of an onslaught, and remember, Rangers will go 5 points clear at the top of the table with a win today. Celtic playing tomorrow. At half-time it's Rangers 3, Hearts 0.
I mentioned Josh Vela as the Carlisle goal scorer. He was at Bolton. It was Carlos Vela who was at Arsenal. Right, elsewhere in the Scottish Premiership, Hibs are a goal upon Dundee. Kilmarnock lead Aberdeen by a goal to 0. Ross County 2, Livingston 0 in that big game at the bottom of the Scottish Premiership. And St Mirren leads St Johnstone by a goal to 0. In the Championship, Arbroath 0, Inverness 0. Ayr 1, Wraith 2. Dundee United lead Queen's Park 2-1. And Morton are 2-0 up on Airdrieonians. In League 1, Cove Rangers 1, Annan 0. Hamilton 0, Alloa 0. Kelty Hearts are down to 10 against the leaders Falkirk, and they trail by a goal to 0. And it's Stirling 1, bottom of the table, Edinburgh City 0. Dumbarton 2, Stranraer 1 is a full-time score in League 2 at half-time. East Fife 0, Forfar 1. Peterhead 1, Elgin 1. Spartans 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 0. Stenhouse Muir 1. Clyde 2. In the Six Nations, Ireland lead Wales by 24 points to 7 with just 4 minutes left to go there. And in the cricket earlier, India closed 219 for 7 after England were all out for 353. Exactly 4 o'clock. Stuart Clarkson has the news.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Mark. In the past hour, the former Deputy Tory Chairman, Lee Anderson, has been suspended from the party after refusing to apologise for comments aimed at Sadiq Khan. The MP for Ashfield said in a TV interview yesterday that Islamists had got control of the Mayor of London. Mr Khan described the remarks as pouring fuel on the fire of anti-Muslim hatred. Israeli media is reporting the outline of a deal for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza and the return of hostages has been agreed during talks in Paris. Delegates from Israel, the US, Egypt and Qatar have been taking part. There are a few details, though, about the possible agreement. Alexei Navalny's body has been returned to his mother today, more than a week after supporters of the Russian opposition leader accused the Kremlin of being behind his sudden death in prison. President Zelensky's issued a rallying cry to the people of Ukraine on the second anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion today. And NHS bosses have described the latest 5-day junior doctor strike in England as a profoundly demoralising moment, warning it'll cause major disruption to non-emergency care. The Doctors' Union, the BMA, says it wants a credible pay offer from the government.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman on 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Back at Old Trafford, surely let's return to John Hunt at Kempton to round up the racing.
Yes, Mark, there were 4 races that had the potential to have an impact on the Cheltenham Festival in 2 weeks' time. Let's tell you about those briefly. Forward Plan has just won the Coral Trophy. He's entered in the Kim Muir handicap chase at Cheltenham. Looks like Lump Sum will be heading there for one of the handicaps as well. He was an impressive winner of the Dovecote Novices Hurdle. Probably the best horse we saw all day today was Caliph du Burlay. He will not be running in the Triumph Hurdle, though. Paul Nicholls said he's a wonderful horse for the future. And the other big race winner today, Mark, the Pendle Novice Chase, went to Blow Your Wad, who's not even entered at Cheltenham.
Thank you very much, John. Once we're done with the football at Old Trafford, we'll be at Murrayfield for the Calcutta Cup. Scotland against England with Chris Jones.
Under 45 minutes to go until kick-off. England and Scotland players both going through their warm-ups. England arriving with their bus being slowly led in by those infamous Murrayfield bagpipers. Can England break Scotland's run in this fixture? They've won the last three, the Scots. Or will Scotland win for the fourth time in a row, which hasn't been done in the Calcutta Cup in the Championship since the 1890s? So much at stake. 4:45 kick-off.
Just a couple of minutes left in Dublin. Sarah Mulkerrins.
Yeah, it's Ireland 24, Wales 7. There's been some really good pressure in attack from Wales. Pick and go on the line, but they've just not been able to get that ball over. Caelan Doris, the latest Irish player to get a hand underneath it, just scuppering any Wales attack. But they are playing better in the second half. Ireland 24, Wales 7.
And we'll be back at Murrayfield once we're done at Old Trafford. Goalless at the break. Manchester United against Fulham with Michael Brown and Ian Dents.
Can I ask you another question?
Oh, no.
I also know this is a genuine one. There's nothing to do with being a veteran broadcaster or someone calling you chaps. But in the idea of cross promotion, when will we see the veteran broadcaster covering Wigan Penrith later on?
Wigan Penrith gets underway at 7:30 on BBC Two. Kick off at 8 o'clock, and you can listen to it on Sports Extra as well.
Oh, that's good to know. I'm all for cross promotion, as you know.
Thanks very much.
Have a safe travel.
Oh well. See you from Wigan.
The rain is pouring down now as well. I hope that veteran broadcaster's got a brolly to take with him to his car, otherwise he's going to get wet, because it's pouring down now here in Salford.
The car will pick him up right outside of
the front sorry, office. Of course, silly me.
He won't have to walk his
silly me. I should have known. Anyway, we're back underway. Neither side has made a change. Manchester United in their red shirts, white shorts and black socks, with Onana in goal, Dalot, Varane, Maguire and Lindelof the defence. Mauri Fortin making his full debut, Casemiro, Kobe Mainu, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford and Garnacho. And Fulham in their white and black tops and black shorts and white socks, with Leno in goal, Castagna, Tosin, Bassi and Robinson the defence, Reed, Lukic, Iwobi, Pereira, Wilson and Rodrigo Muniz. And if you missed the first half, as there's a Manchester United player down, that is Casemiro, Erik ten Hag is complaining already to the fourth official. Fulham really should be ahead. They were excellent in that first half.
Yeah, they should have been, but Erik ten Hag's asking for a foul. Casemiro limping, jogging back. When you have that many chances, I speak to a few Fulham people at half times. Yeah, we've got to take them, we've got to hit targets, got to take these opportunities, these chances. But now, how do Manchester United react? So they've got to show some desires and fight. They've been excellent the last few weeks, but this is another game that's not been at the best.
Muniz with a nice little flick to Reed on this near side, the right. Wilson plays the ball forward, he's picked out Castagna, makes that run, tries to pull it back, blocked by Maguire. Enterprising football from Fulham. They get a corner kick.
Yeah, great 1-2, it's just that give and go. So naturally you don't have a natural left back. Lindelof just moved away. Really good recovery run central, there's no space left to try and fizz the ball right across the front with Castagna, but good recoveries.
So Pereira to take the corner kick for Fulham. Near side the right, playing from left to right as we look, and Tosin arrives and his downward header is well off target as he clatters into Casemiro, and it will be a goal kick as the persistent rain falls, the temperature dropping inside Old Trafford. Aston Villa leading Nottingham Forest by 3-0, and Manchester United are floundering.
Yeah, not so good there. Set pieces causing them problems as well. Tosin just attacking it. Someone's got to block him or get tighter. Just mixing that little corner routine out. The first couple were flat, the next one just a bit further over, a couple of chances, but yeah, the weather has deteriorated.
That's Michael Brown, one of 14 Browns to have played for Fulham, from Arthur all the way through to Wayne. 44 appearances he had for Fulham during the tenure of Chris Coleman, as Reed has given away a free kick for a challenge on Garnacho. So Manchester United are playing from right to left. I include the Brown with an E in that.
Yeah, I'd love to include that. But by the way, Chris Coleman, what a manager, what a guy, really good. It's a shame when that got broken up. It affected Fulham.
Onana hits the ball long and direct downfield. Tosin just shrugs off the challenge of Garnacho, heads it away. Bouncing ball, clash of heads between Casemiro and Reed. So straight away Michael Oliver signals that the physios have got to come on. He was always struggling, but he was committed as ever, was Harrison Reed. but both players are down holding their heads, and there will be a stoppage in play here at Old Trafford at 0-0.
Dangerous as they just jumped together, but medical staff a bit slow there. I'm sure they were expecting to come on, but that's one of those, you've got to go for it. But again, is there any way that they can be better, or is there any cuts? We'll soon see.
Crystal Palace, Burnley, latest from John Southall.
It's Palace 0, Burnley 0, but Palace have come flying out in this second half. Lerma with a 20-yarder held by Trafford, and just watching back the sending off at half-time. Well, Trafford didn't do Brownhill any favours in the sending off, but it's Palace 0, Burnley 0.
Just like to wish Roy Hodgson the very best as well as he recuperates. Former Crystal Palace manager, a little bit of me time certainly won't do Roy any harm whatsoever. After his sterling work at Selhurst Park in recent years. Crystal Palace Burnley remains 0-0. Full time though in the Six Nations. Ireland Wales. Sarah Mulkerrin.
Ireland 31, Wales 7 into the red, and Ireland got their bonus point, fourth try. Tyburn barrelling over after Sheehan, Lowe and Frawley had scored their other three. Wales just the penalty try for them after the break. They were better in the second half, but it is 3 losses from 3 for Wales, but hopes of back-to-back Grand Slams are still on for Ireland. It's ended Ireland 31, Wales 7.
Both players are still down and still getting treatment. And once they've digested that Ireland victory, where the Grand Slam remains on, then the uninterrupted rugby coverage will then switch from Dublin to Murrayfield, and all the build-up to Scotland, England, and all of the first half will be on Sports Extra. And when we're finished here at Old Trafford, then you will hear on 5 Live Chris Jones, Matt Dawson, Johnny Beattie and Chris Ashton, the team at Murrayfield for that 4:45 kickoff. So let's get an update from the Amex meanwhile. Still a stoppage in play here at Old Trafford. Brighton, Everton, Henry.
Early in the second half, still goalless. Brighton 0, Everton 0. Everton forced into a substitution though. Idrissa Gueye limping off, and Amadou Onana scored against Palace on Monday onto the field. Still goalless.
Harrogate 0, Walsall 1. Ross County 2, Livingston 1. Latest scores in League 2 and the Scottish Premiership respectively. Manchester United might be making a change. The 2 stretchers which are poised and not necessarily required at this point. So it remains 0-0. We'll go to Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
For Villa, we've just restarted, and quite rightly, Toffolo is on the left back for Niakate. Niakate, centre-back, looked horribly exposed in that first half. Lord knows why Toffolo didn't start after Tavares was ruled out by injury. So we got 1 minute, we got another 45 minutes of this to go. Could be some torture for Nottingham Forest. Villa looks superb. Villa 3, Forest 1.
Thank you, Pat. Casemiro is sat up, but they are applying like a swab just to the top of his head. So Casemiro is up and looks okay. Reed at the moment is still lying on his back. McTominay is going to be coming on, and Casemiro is going to head straight down towards the tunnel. We'll dip into the Championship. Aaron Paul at St Mary's.
Southampton 1, Millwall 2. Half-time change for Millwall. Michael Obafemi, ineffectual in the first half, has been replaced by Tom Bradshaw, but as expected, Saints have come out flying. Kyle Walker-Peters with the initial attempt, saved by Mateusz Sarkic, and Che Adams has just popped an effort from across over the bar. 48 gone. Southampton 1, Millwall 2.
Another goal at Villa Park for Pat Murphy.
To Nottingham Forest, a sweet build-up, and Villa were standing off them. There was nothing. There was no danger really, but then Gibbs White nipped in and beautifully lobbed the keeper. So having been 3-0 down, after about 3 minutes played from then, it's now 3-2 to Villa.
Interesting. As McTominay comes on for Casemiro, and Manchester United are going to make a double change, because also Amari Forson, this 19-year-old on his full debut, is coming off just 8 minutes into the second half to be replaced by the more experienced Christian Eriksen. Dare I say it, the veteran. After 5 unused appearances as a substitute, he comes off the bench to replace the fresh-faced Forson, and Eriksen and McTominay are on. Harrison Reed looks like he's able to continue, but Fulham temporarily are down to 10 men. But it's with Iwobi, who sends over the cross from that far side to left, headed to the edge of the area and cleared by Garnacho, but his clearance will be kept in play by Iwobi on that far side to Fulham right, delivers another ball in, headed away by Varane. Straight to Rangers, goal, Conor McLaughlin.
A second goal for Cyril Dessers, and a very similar goal from the one in the first half, exactly the same time, but they're just checking it in actual fact for a possible handball. It looks as though Rangers is in the balance here whether or not they go 4-0 up. Come back to me and I'll let you know for a definite.
OK, thanks Connie. Bristol Rovers 2, Carlisle 1 is the latest score. The Wickham goalkeeper Max Strajek has been sent off as they're trailing at Stevenage by a goal to nil. But Rangers, if that goal is confirmed with 4 goals, will go 5 points clear of Celtic, who are in action tomorrow. At 12 o'clock kick-off, regular updates into 5 Live Sport that comes live from Wembley Stadium, and we'll also have the first half from Molineux of Wolverhampton Wanderers against Sheffield United tomorrow. The whole game of the League Cup final will be on 5 Live. The second half of that encounter at Molineux will be on Sports Extra. And that goal, I'm told, does stand. So Rangers do indeed lead third-placed Hearts by 4 goals to nil. 9 minutes into the second half. Manchester United 0, Fulham 0, and just wish a safe travel to Chris Wilder on his way to Molineux, as he's listening to 5 Live, would you believe, on the team bus this afternoon.
Good old Chris, doing his homework. It's nice that he's listening. Friend of both of ours, I'm sure. You know?
He's a man of taste, isn't he?
Well, that's why he's tuned in, I believe. But like I said, a slight change for Manchester United we'll discuss after this free kick.
Free kick goes short and square. Reed plays it forward, and Muniz heads it on. Castagna offside, flags up on the near side. Cross is headed over by Tosin anyway. Michael Brown.
Yeah, just see in the middle of the pitch, obviously Casemiro going off. You see Mano joined by Eriksson and a 2-man holding sixes. McTominay going in that advanced position just ahead. Rashford coming central. Garnacho from the left. Bruno Fernandes just sneaking out onto that right-hand side. So slightly different. I think that'll suit Scott McTominay. He'll want to break the line. He'll want to go and support Rashford getting behind. They've got to try something because they have been flat.
Manchester United labouring somewhat against Fulham, who really should be ahead with the chances that they created in the first half. But 10 minutes into this second period, neither side has really had an opportunity so far. Morecambe 1, Grimsby 1. Watford lead Huddersfield Town by a goal to nil. Andre Brighton-Writer, his first game in charge today for Huddersfield, who are trying to stay in the Championship. Manchester United go back. There's been no real urgency from Manchester United. They've won their last 5. Best run of form since they actually had 9 successive wins last season between November and January. Unbeaten in 7, 1 defeat in 9. But they've gone back to the Manchester United of old, and Muniz has dispossessed Dallo here. The charge is on for Fulham, led by Iwobi. 2 to his left, Robinson with a cross, and across the face of goal it goes, and Atumban Pereira was never going to get there. And for an attack that offered so much promise, it delivered very little. 0-0.
Again, Fulham, good numbers for counter-attacking. Iwobi on it, just plays it out to Robinson, fizz it across the face. Pereira back post, just didn't have the muscle, but they've got to score, they've got to finish these opportunities.
Blackburn have equalised at home to Norwich in the Championship at Ewood Park. Blackburn Rovers 1, Norwich City 1. Blackburn still yet to win under John Eustace. He's drawn 2 and lost 1 of his opening 3 games. Varane passes the ball out to Bruno Fernandes, tries to hit it forward at the outside of his right boot. Reed, who's showing no ill effects of that clash to the head, plays the ball forward. Muniz with a layoff to Pereira. He's got Wilson ahead of him. Pereira tries to pass it out to the inside left channel for the run of Iwobi, but it was deflected away, and out of play it goes for a corner kick as we nip to Villa Park and Pat Murphy.
3-2 Villa still, but could it be 4-3? At 3-2 there was a great chance at Elanga, but he skewed his shot past Martinez. Should have scored. At the other end just now, Tielemans has hit the post for Villa. It's Villa 3, Forest 2.
Gillingham are leading Wrexham by a goal to nil. So Stockport County, who in the minute are being held by Swindon. Mansfield are leading Salford, and third place Wrexham are behind against Stephen Clements' Gillingham. Gillingham 1, Wrexham 0. We're approaching the hour mark in the rain at Old Trafford. 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds. It's goalless. Corner kick, Pereira swings it in for Fulham. Headed out by Lindelof. Drops towards Reed. Fires it back in. Blocked. Comes out to Iwobi. He pulls it back. Wilson chips it out towards Lukic. I think he was looking like he was offside. He was looking on the line. So therefore you had that. He was hesitant, wasn't he, whether to make the run, and in the end that cost him as it went out for a goal kick. Oxford United 1, Leyton Orient 1, a latest score in League One. News of that goal from Ewood Park, Ellen Ellard.
Blackburn 1, Norwich 1, and it's been coming for the struggling host. Dom Hyam, the captain, rising highest after successive corners and finding the back of the net. Blackburn 1, Norwich 1.
The atmosphere is increasing. The Manchester United fans are trying to offer their support for a Manchester United side that at the moment have struggling. We said in the first half they lacked a cutting edge. They're lacking a creative spark.
Fulham are just moving the ball around, getting Pereira in that 10 position. He's causing problems for Maguire because they're going locking on high at Manchester United. But how Fulham haven't took the lead, I do not know. The last 10 minutes or so has been all Fulham. Manchester United getting any sort of progress going forward.
To the Amex we will go now. Henry Moran.
Still goalless between Brighton and Everton, but Everton oh so close to an opener. Brilliant block on the line from a flying Tariq Lamptey. Good effort from Decore. It remains goalless.
He always seems to do quite well, does Sean Dyche at Brighton. Remember that coupon buster? Was it last season when they really did have a handsome win at the Amex, which was to the surprise of most, as Muniz took it well into feet with a turn, then he ran into the brick wall that was Harry Maguire. Unbeaten in 11, incidentally, are Brighton at home in all competitions. And they got that rather appetising draw against Roma in the Europa League yesterday, as Rashford picks up the ball, runs forward, and then is taken off his toes by Pereira, nimble with his feet. Rashford, flat-footed, doesn't run back. Wilson now runs forward for Fulham. Looks towards Muniz, comes back towards Muniz on the edge of the area with his back to goal, towards Pereira. Pereira will keep it in play on this near side the right. Half an hour remain. Villa, their lead is a slender one now, 3-2 at home to Nottingham Forest. They were 3-0 up, remember, at one stage. But for Manchester United in their quest for a top four finish, they are being frustrated by this Fulham side. As we will go to Selhurst Park and John Southall.
Well, it's Crystal Palace 0, Burnley 0 as Andre Ayew just tries to break through. Adam Wharton with a curler from the edge of the area just wide of the left post. He is lucky to still be on the pitch for a challenger moments goal, Cullen and Berger, and he's on a yellow already. Could well have been a red. Still on the pitch, Palace 0, Burnley 0.
Remember, Burnley are down to 10 men. Josh Brownhill sent off. His last sending off was about 6 years ago when he was playing for Bristol City against Leeds United. Hibs 2, Dundee 0 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership. So we're past the hour mark, Michael Brown, and Manchester United, without Hoyland, showing no sign of troubling Bernd Leno.
We've not had the ball on until now, the last few moments, and they start to get a couple of passes. Marco Silva was very disappointed that Iwobi's ball just went away. Manchester United it back, but yeah, maybe Tom Kearney just getting warmed up for Fulham. He's been playing regular as well, whether we'll see him, but it's all about Manchester United for me. They've got to come and take charge of this.
Garnacho to Rashford. Castagna had tracked the run of Garnacho, so when the ball was flicked back to the young Argentine, he was able to clear it for Fulham. Wilson to Pereira. Pereira always passing the ball forward, looks for the run of Muniz, headed out by Varane, picked up by Iwobi, comes central, passes the ball out to the left back, Robinson, edge of the area, first time cross, just over the head of Muniz, won't go out behind, it'll go out of play for a throw down towards our right hand side, where the Fulham supporters are housed in that quadrant, for those of you who know Old Trafford as the rain continues to fall. 62 minutes played. FA Cup 5th round next week, Monday night. Coventry Maidstone on 5 Live. Tuesday we're at Ewood Park for Blackburn Newcastle. Luton Manchester City will be on Sports Extra, and on Wednesday night we're at Stamford Bridge for Chelsea against Leeds United. Sports Extra's commentary will have Liverpool against Southampton. So the League Cup final tomorrow on 5 Live, and then 5 FA Cup ties in the 5th round.
Updates from Anfield as well, just to let you know.
Regular updates from Anfield.
Thanks for missing my one off, that's okay.
I did, well, it's on Sports Extra. Always trail the commentary. It's not about you, Michael. 0-0. Hibs have had that goal disallowed, incidentally. Hibs 1, Dundee 0. Kilmarnock leading Aberdeen by 2 goals to 0 in the Scottish Premiership. Manchester United, you can hear the crowd just starting to turn.
It'll get worse. They've got to get hold of this ball. They want momentum, they want power. You can say now, let's go. They want them to move the ball quicker when the forward runs like this now. Fernandes.
Well, the crowd, to their credit, are playing their part, but this is where you want somebody to step up. You want a leader. to try and be the catalyst for Manchester United, to grab the game by the scruff of its neck and say, right, but at the minute, there doesn't appear to be that leader out there for Manchester United. 63 minutes played, 0-0.
We've got to give Fulham credit, though. They've really soaked it up well and then kept the ball and controlled the game. Sat in, growing in confidence.
Varane overhits that pass for Rashford, and it goes all the way through to Bernd Leno. BBC Radio 5 Live. We're about just over 20 minutes away from the rugby starting at Murrayfield. Uninterrupted coverage is already on Sports Extra of Scotland against England. Scotland have done well, of course, against England in recent encounters. As the ball by Leno, good distribution out towards that far side. Robinson, Lukic. Certainly the decision to make the wholesale changes has paid off for Marco Silva. He's only won 2 of his 10 encounters against Manchester United in his managerial career. As Reed with a cross comes shot, has Onana backpedaling furiously and having to tip the ball over for a corner kick.
Yeah, it's completely mishit it. Onana recovers well, steps back, just pushes it over the crossbar, nearly caught him out. It would have been very, very fortunate, but again, it's just these runs forward with intensity, getting in behind people are causing Manchester United the problems. Another set piece now. Who's going to mark tossing?
Queen's Park Rangers have equalised at home to Rotherham. So Rotherham, only 1 win in 21, have been pegged back. We'll get news of that goal after this corner kick for Fulham. Still 0-0 at Old Trafford. Pereira, the outswinger, met by Bassey. Bassey then lashes the ball and as it came back to him, hit it quickly on the rebound, right-footed. Onana stood no chance, and Fulham thoroughly deserved that. They lead at Old Trafford by a goal to 0, and Calvin Bassey from the back with his first for the club.
They finally get that breakthrough. It was a clever set piece. There's a little block when you get to see it that just causes that space for Calvin Bassey. He takes that touch, it comes back to him. Right foot is a sensational finish, right to the roof of the net. Manchester United naive again, but Fulham deserve it.
Meanwhile, there's been a goal at Villa Park, Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Aston Villa, scored by Liam Bailey. Persistent work by Watkins. The ball rebounded from the keeper, South Holmes, and there was Bailey 6 yards out to roll it in. Order is partially being restored here at Villa Park. Villa 4, Forest 2.
News of that goal at Queen's Park Rangers, Rich Wolfenden.
It's QPR 1, Rotherham 1, and Paul Smith, the substitute, came on at half-time. He had a very, very narrow angle back to a ball over the top and somehow slotted it beyond the goalkeeper Johansson. It is 1-1 now.
Bassey hit it on the volley first time from he was actually blocked by his own player Castagna, but he just didn't hesitate, did he?
No, it was blocked by Castagna, but initially Tossin just blocked off Erison. He was stood with Bassey, just stood across him, couldn't let him go with him. And I thought, if this delivery is good, I've seen it early. He gets the first chance blocked by his own player, and then the second finish. Wasn't it really good? Strike into the top corner.
So for a third successive trip to Old Trafford, Fulham take the lead. Will it be third time lucky? Will they on this occasion hang on to that lead and gain their first win in 21 years at Old Trafford? Because Manchester United are behind. And Calvin Bassey, whose last goal was for Ajax in October 2022, has scored here for Fulham. But they thoroughly deserve it.
Yeah, they haven't. I've been stood there in this white shirt, but Manchester United have completely dominated. It's not a good feeling. It's really been such a long time, we know, but they've come out with all those changes and really moved the ball around, played with confidence, and played with desire to get on the ball and make runs. They've never been clinical. But how do Manchester United react? What do they do next?
Mansfield 3, Salford 1 is the latest score in League 2. Fulham are going to make a change. It's going to be Andreas Pereira who's going to be coming off. He is on a yellow card. He's been excellent, hasn't he, for Fulham today? Former United player.
He has as well. And do you know what? It's just those little positions that he's took, and he's wanting to take it back foot, drive forward, look for other players. We've had that wonderful effort, that shot he's tried a couple of times to get in positions. One early that was comfortable for the goalkeeper. Next one, that curling one to the far post, good save, but yeah, really good performance. And now this man I know well, Tom Kearney, through Fulham through and through. Lucky not to start.
Yes, another creative player, and Fulham are not sitting back, buoyed by that goal. They're coming forward again with Iwobi. Iwobi on the left-hand side, delivers the cross. Wilson waits, headed down from Lindelof, met by Reed, hit it first time right-footed on the rise, over the top of the crossbar as it goes out for a goal kick, but Fulham lead 1-0. Bolton incidentally down to 10 men as they're trailing at Bloomfield Road, so still Blackpool 2, Bolton 1 in League One, but Ricardo Santos has been sent off for Bolton Wanderers as the ball rebounds to Bernd Leno, and we'll get an update from Crystal Palace, Burnley. John Southall.
Crystal Palace have the lead. Palace 1, Burnley 0. Cross from the right-hand side, and they're stooping at the back post. Chris Richards with the first goal for Olivier Glasner, and Crystal Palace lead by 1-0 against Burnley.
St Mirren 2, St Johnstone 0 is the latest score in the Scottish Premiership, and no sooner have been Bolton reduced to 10 men. Jake Beasley from the penalty spot takes full advantage, and Blackpool now lead Bolton 3-1. Garnacho on the attack left-hand side. Sends over a cross, took a deflection on its way through in front of the Stretford end. It'll go behind for a corner kick. Michael Brown.
Yeah, he showed flashes of really good players. Garnacho pulling down that left-hand side, but Fulham get two bodies in front as it deflected wide, but this needs to be on point. Manchester United need to get something. All these results, everything talking about the top four. This would be a poor one.
Fernandes rolls it to Rashford. Back towards Fernandes. There was a groan from the crowd when it was rolled short. You've got all the big men up from the back. And it goes behind for another corner kick in front of the tunnel area as they attack the Stretford end. So Manchester United red shirts, white shorts playing from right to left. Trailing by a goal to 0, 5 live in the World Service. And this time it goes delivered into the box, and then it was Mainu who down into the ground, and it goes that wide. And that far off target, it's about 10 yards up from the corner flag on this near side, the left. As there's another goal at Ibrox, Conor McLaughlin.
It's 5 for Rangers. Fabio Silva this time, he's just off the bench, a really tight angle on the left-hand side, and he just dinks the ball underneath Sander Clark. For Rangers fans in Dreamland, Rangers 5, Hearts 0.
5 goals and 5 points clear ahead of Celtic at the top of the table. Manchester United with Aston Villa leading by 4 goals to 2. Well, they started the day 5 points adrift of Villa. They could be 8 further back now in their quest for a top 4 finish. And Manchester United's winning run coming to a shuddering halt at the moment because they don't look like they're going to score on the balance of play that we've seen so far, 71 minutes in. Bruno Fernandes goes short to Garnacho. Garnacho. And yet if they were to get a goal, this place would really come alive. What was it against Brentford when they managed to salvage something with 2 late goals from McTominay? Rashford now left corner of the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes looks for the shooting opportunity. Right-footed. It was a comfortable height for Leno to make the save.
Really good skill. Brilliant how he shifted back from to the left foot and then a little touch to the outside of his right and gets that curler away. Leno sees it earlier, but that's the type of position we need to see Bruno Fernandes in if Manchester United are going to get that equaliser.
Accrington 0, Crawley 1 is the latest score in League 2. That's the voice of Michael Brown here at Old Trafford. This is the voice of Henry Moran at Brighton.
Still goalless, Brighton 0, Everton 0. Brighton struggling to find the dominance they showed in the first half. Ansu Fati has come close, but Brighton 0, Everton 0 it remains.
Garnacho left-hand side of the penalty area. Castagna slides into the challenge. Behind it goes. Garnacho tries to whip up the crowd as they get a corner kick, and Huddersfield Town have equalised at Vicarage Road. Watford 1, Huddersfield 1 is the latest score in the Championship. 18 minutes remain here. Eriksson. No shortage of vocal support. There's Eriksson with the corner kick, right-footed. Comes out to Bruno Fernandes. His shot charged down by Reed, then hooked away. Goal at Selhurst Park, John Southall.
Crystal Palace 2, Burnley 0. This time Jordan Ayew at the back post, unmarked, rolled it into the back of the net. It's jumping inside Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 2, Burnley 0.
That'll be 9 without a win then for Burnley. Rashford left-hand side of the penalty area. Rashford fires it across. Keeper makes the save and then cleared away. Not by 1 but 2 Fulham players. Kearney with the last touch. Manchester United now are coming on strong. as the ball is swept forward by Bruno Fernandes. Maguire has stayed forward, but he was backing into his man, and referee Michael Oliver has already given a free kick in favour of Fulham, who lead by a goal to nil. After the football is finished, we will go straight to Murrayfield. Let's get a little flavour of that atmosphere of that Calcutta Cup clash, Scotland-England with Chris Jones.
Murrayfield awaits, under 15 minutes to kick off this great fixtures run. Since 1879, not many in recent times as eagerly anticipated as this. Scotland have won the last three. Can England wrestle the Calcutta Cup from Scottish hands? Not long to find out.
The first half uninterrupted will be on Sports Extra. You'll have all the build-up now. What are we? Less than 15 minutes away, and then as soon as we're done here, we'll be over to Chris and the team on BBC Radio 5 Live. As where will we go next then on this busy afternoon? It's a goal, it's an Oakwell, and that's Premji.
Barnsley 2, Derby 1, cornering from the far side. Adam Phillips with the header. He's at the double. Barnsley 2, Derby 1.
There is a stoppage in play. He's in the walls today, isn't he, Harrison Reid? It's the second blow to the head now. He's having his left eye just touched up.
He's not having the best of afternoons regards to challenges, but he's got in some good positions, and a couple of shots away, and tried to fill those spots, delay Manchester United wherever possible, and then got on the ball. Just having another look at Fulham's opener. Fantastic finish.
Aston Villa 4, Nottingham Forest 2. Crystal Palace 2, the 10 men of Burnley 0. It's no longer goalless at the Amex, Henry Moran.
Because Everton have taken the lead, and what a goal. Jared Branthwaite cannoning the ball into the top corner. Everton have offered little in this game, but they have the lead. Brighton 0, Everton 1.
I said to you that Sean Dyche always seems to do well there. Let's get the team news from Bournemouth. It's a 5:30 kickoff, and Alistair Bruce Ball has the team news.
Bournemouth taking on the champions Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne is on the bench again for them. Nathan Ake returns to the back four. Kyle Walker drops out. Mateo Kovacic and Mateus Nunes come in for Oscar Bob and Julian Alvarez. One change for Bournemouth. Milos Kerkez starts at left back. Lloyd Kelly's out injured.
If you want the whole of that match, then listen to Sports Extra for Bournemouth Manchester City. We will take the second half once the rugby has finished. Scotland England. It's a flexible 5 Live this afternoon. Exeter 1, Fleetwood 1 is the latest score in League One. We'll run through all the latest scores very, very soon in the various divisions here on 5 Live. As now blue sky has replaced the dark skies above the Stretford end. Will that be a sign for Manchester United with 15 minutes remaining as they need to stage a late fight back as they trail by a goal to nil? As Eriksson, crossfield ball, Garnacho hits it on the half volley first time. He's overhit it, out of play it goes for a goal kick. Haven't won in the last 16 visits since 2003. Lee Clark, Steed Malbronk, Inamoto, all on the score sheet that day for Fulham, who have lost more games against Manchester United, 24, in the Premier League than against any other side.
There's a long way to go in this as well. These Fulham players and supporters understand Manchester United have that threat, that quality at the top of the pitch, and more changes come in. Another stop in play, and I think that'll suit Fulham for a little bit of time when they take the lead and just be able to delay. But looking now with this type of substitution, they want a counter.
Harrison Reid is going off. Adama Traore, for just his 8th appearance since he arrived, is coming on. So they'll certainly have a lot of pace on the counter-attack. St Mirren 3, St Johnstone 0 is a latest score in the Scottish Premiership. We will have quite a bit of added on time. The goal, stoppages in play, all to be added on by the officials. Craig Pawson is the 4th official. Michael Oliver is the match referee here today. Reminder tomorrow, the League Cup final live from Wembley, all the build-up from 12 o'clock. Alan Shearer is on commentary duties tomorrow with Paul Heckingbottom. Also with us, Stuart Downing, you'll hear, Neda Manua, as Onana brings the ball out of the penalty area. Manchester United, in this second half, I can only really recall the Leno save from Bruno Fernandes. In the first half, they didn't really create a great deal then, as the ball has been given away by Garnacho. He's presented it straight towards Kearney, inside the centre circle. Now towards Harry Wilson. Kearney will go on the overlap, and he finds him. Left corner of the penalty area. Kearney, time to measure the cross. Low, blocked by Varane, loops up in the air. Good control by Kearney, almost overruns it. Robinson is behind him, and Fulham keep the ball. That goal disallowed, incidentally, in Paisley. So St Mirren's lead is back to 2-0. St Mirren 2, St Johnstone 0. 12 minutes remaining. Manchester United, they lost 9 games throughout the whole of last season. This would be their 10th defeat of this campaign. That speaks volumes for the way that they've underachieved. Ball given away cheaply by Bassi. Mainu picks it up in the midfield. Now to Eriksen. Eriksen coming forward, short. Bruno Fernandes, back to Maguire, forward ball, McTominay to Eriksen, short, intricate passes, breaks down, brought away by Kearney. Fernandes couldn't make the challenge. Kearney now looks for the run of Wilson. He finds him. Wilson cuts in front of Darlow, edge of the D. Wilson with a finish just wide. Left-footed, very, very close, just on the wrong side of the left-hand post. Another chance for Fulham as they lead 1-0.
That's a wonderful opportunity. Brilliant run. Counter-attacking at its best on Kearney, just into Wilson. And at that point, he's got nowhere else to go. Opens up on his left foot, 25 yards out. Wonderful curling effort. Just past the post. It deserved more with such quality.
Straight to Selhurst Park. Penalty, John Southall.
Penalty to Palace. Crystal Palace 2, Burnley 0. Jean-Philippe Mateta, the man to take this penalty. Palace lead the game by 2 goals to 0. James Trafford waits on his line in front of the Holmesdale Road end. Referee blows his whistle. Crystal Palace leading by 2 goals to 0. What a start this is for Glasner. Up steps Mateta and strokes it into the right-hand corner. And Oliver Glasner is going to get his win. Palace 3, Burnley 0.
I'll be honest, I never felt they'd get relegated with Roy Hodgson in charge. 4 unbeaten at home before today. They're going to extend that unbeaten run to 5. A goal at Sunderland, Chris Coles.
And it's a goal for Sunderland. They're right back in this game now, trailing Swansea by 2 goals to 1. The captain, Luke O'Nien, back post header from an Equa free kick. Sunderland 1, Swansea 2, 12 minutes to play.
Corner kick for Manchester United, trailing by a goal to 0. Eriksen with it, and the header from Maguire inside the 6-yard area is off target. The groans will tell you everything. Off target goal kick. Queen's Park Rangers 2, Rotherham 1. Rotherham had taken the lead in that game in West London, but are now trailing. Rich Wolfenden will have news of that goal for us.
Yeah, familiar feeling for those Rotherham fans in the away end. Chris Willock is the man who's made it 2-1. He got the ball on the edge of the box and slammed it past Johansson. And QPR, 3 points for them. They'll take them out the relegation zone, 2-1.
Amad Diallo is coming on and is replacing Kobe Mainu. And Fulham are going to make a change as well, and it is going to be a defensive change. Issa Diop is going to be coming on. Now, originally it showed that it was it's going to be Harry Wilson who's coming off. So Diop will come on for Wilson as they look to protect this slender lead. 10 minutes remaining, Michael.
Yeah, they see why they're doing that, but I just think they didn't need to change too much. You understand it when they go a defensive option, and if you go to sort of 3 at the back, or soon see how they're going to set that up. But Harry Wilson will be tired after that last run. Some quality going through the middle of the pitch, but no rush for Fulham now, slowing it down, game management, but they've got to be careful. I think they've got to keep control of possession, moving Manchester United around.
And what about Kobe Mainu's performance here today? I ask you that question, it's loaded, because Lee Carsley, the under-21 head coach for the English FA, was here today, and I would imagine having a good look at him.
So he's played a lot of games, sensational talent, really good to the eye, wants to take the ball forward, mixes it up as well. He's got an all-round game. Hasn't really been the best one for him today, but he's not on his own. That's the point. He needed his team around him.
9 minutes remain of normal time. Fulham still deservedly lead by a goal to 0. Latest scores then elsewhere. We'll go through the divisions for you. We'll start in the Scottish Premiership. Hibs lead Dundee 1-0. At Rugby Park, it's Kilmarnock 2, Aberdeen 0. Rangers are 5 points clear of Celtic, who play tomorrow because they're leading Hearts by 5 goals to 0 at Ibrox. Ross County 2, Livingston 1 in that basement battle. And Livingston bottom of the table. Although they've reduced the arrears, still trail, and St Mirren 2, St Johnstone 0 is a latest score. So on the blue skies now here at Old Trafford with 8 minutes remaining. Manchester United still trail by a goal to 0. Dallow's ball in field given away. There's been a number of errant balls in that midfield from Manchester United. Not quite at the normal standards for Erik ten Hag when they've won their last 5 games in all competitions. Brighton 0, Everton 1 is the latest score, but there's been a red card. Henry Moran.
The task gets harder for Brighton. A goal down against Everton and now down to 10 men. Billy Gilmore, horrible challenge, it has to be said, on Amadou Onana. He walks off the field and Brighton down to 10, a goal down as well. Brighton 0, Everton 1.
Match the day tonight, 10:20 on BBC One. Maguire to Garnacho, left-hand side, tries to get past Castagna. And there is the presence of Diop, making it firmly felt as he stopped Garnacho in his tracks. Ball picked up by Traore, switches the play out towards Iwobi, but there was Diallo to take it away off his toes. Dundee have equalised at Hibs. Hibs 1, Dundee 1. Notts County 0, Crewe 3 is a latest score in League 2. And also Sheffield Wednesday are down to 10 men as they lead Bristol City at Hillsborough by 2 goals to 1, but they've had Bernard sent off, and you're up to date with the goals as they go in. We'll go through the various divisions, but time is desperately running out for Manchester United, and Fulham are closing in for what will be an excellent win, bearing in mind they've lost 13 of their 16 Premier League games away here at Old Trafford. Michael?
No, away performances haven't been good all season. That was the discussion we had when we were arriving at the stadium, and everybody's aware of what Fulham are doing away from home, but I felt even though after all the changes, missing key personnel, they started the game really confident, moved it around, kept possession, made Manchester United run for it, and you know, at times if they don't have that control, Manchester United do struggle, but I do feel like United are going to get a chance or two. That Maguire one just going over the bar is a threat towards Fulham. They've sort of said, right, we'll put a back three in and we'll try and delay, but see how they get on.
Salford City are heading for their first defeat under Carl Robinson. They're trailing 3-1 away at Mansfield, and they're now down to 10 men as Vassell has been sent off. Huddersfield Town are now leading at Watford in the Championship. Watford 1, Huddersfield Town 2. Manchester United coming forward. Again, no real cut and thrust on the edge of the area. Eriksson will pick it up outside the D to McTominay. Just no way through that wall of white of the Fulham defenders as Darlow overhits that pass as he tries to play in Diallo on that right-hand side. Oxford 1, Leyton Orient 2 is the latest score in League 1. And we'll rattle through the scores now because the rugby's coming up here on 5 Live. So these are the latest scores in League 2. Accrington 0, Crawley Town 1. Barrow Bradford City was postponed an hour before kick-off. Doncaster Rovers lead Wimbledon by a goal to 0. Forest Green 1, Tranmere 0. Gillingham lead Wrexham by a goal to 0. Harrogate 0, Walsall 1. MK Dons 3, Newport 0. Mansfield 3, Salford 1. Morecambe 1, Grimsby 1 is the latest there. Notts County 0, Crewe 3. The leaders Stockport 0, Swindon 0. Sutton United 1, Colchester 1. So as it stands, Mansfield will be going top of League 2. To Villa Park, Pat Murphy.
Still 4-2 to Aston Villa. Yates anticipating a free kick for Forest. Might have made it 4-3, but he missed kick horribly. The chances are still piling up for Aston Villa, but it's still Villa 4, Forest 2.
5 minutes remain of normal time. Amad Diallo for Manchester United, far side the right, in front of the Stretford end. They've doubled up on him, and they should get the ball away with Iwobi and Bassi tussling with it. Iwobi will help bring it clear, but the interception from Eriksson. Manchester United might have seen a lot of the ball, but at no stage did they look like scoring in the last 5-10 minutes.
No, they've not had enough shots on target, that's for certain. But Fulham, you accept that, once they take the lead, the possession was 50-50 then. Now it's only since they've said, right, we'll sit in, we'll wait, but still a long time to go. Manchester United are going to get a chance.
Hibs are back in front. Hibs 2, Dundee 1. Blackpool lead the 10 men Bolton Wanderers by 4 goals to 1 at Bloomfield Road, and it's Harrogate 0, Walsall 2 as the latest score in League 2. Ball unable to get his past Lukic, prevents it with the clearance. Now they're sitting in at Fulham as another move breaks down on that right hand side. A goal at Portman Road, Becky Eye.
And it's gone to Ipswich, the substitute, Jeremy Samiento. Been on the field about 10 minutes. It was an Axel Twanzebe, crossed it back the box, and he just had to tap it in. Ipswich 2, Birmingham 1.
They've won their last 4. That will take them level with Leeds United on 72 points and 6 points behind the leaders Leicester. Full-time score in League 1 earlier, Cambridge United 0, Peterborough United 1. These are the latest scores in that top of the table clash. 4th versus 2nd. Barnsley lead Derby County by 2 goals to 1. Barnsley have only lost 1 of their previous 16. Blackpool 4, Bolton 1, Bristol Rovers 2, Carlisle United 1. Carlisle have lost their last 7 before today. Burton Albion 0, Northampton 2, Charlton 0, Portsmouth 0. Charlton still looking for a first win under Nathan Jones since he took charge. Exeter 1, Fleetwood 1, Oxford United 1, Leyton Orient 2, Port Vale 0, Lincoln 1. Lincoln looking to extend their unbeaten run to 8 games. Reading 2, Shrewsbury 3, and Stevenage lead the 10 men of Wycombe by a goal to 0 after their goalkeeper Strike was sent off. 3 minutes remaining. Manchester United still don't look like scoring.
They don't, they're just moving it around. Fulham just sat in, everybody back. Just delay, closing the pitch. Manchester United have got to get into the wide areas. Garnacho 1, get him a 1v1. You've got to do it quicker, a bit more direct. Start getting some crosses in across the face of Fulham's penalty area.
Well, so Jim Radcliffe, in his interview with Dan Rowan, the BBC Sports editor during the week, said it will take time. What is it, light years away from the other teams, and it's certainly shown on the evidence of today with 2 minutes remaining. Manchester United still can't find a way through this stubborn Fulham side, who really, if they'd have taken their chances, their margin of victory could have been far greater. There's been, as Eriksson plays the ball out towards Diallo, Maguire goes down inside the area. Michael Oliver had a good view of that. Here is Maguire, he stayed forward. He's trying to shield the ball, side onto goal, trying to create the opportunity. Maguire now works over the cross towards the far post. Maguire did ever so well. Bruno Fernandes keeps it in play, left-hand side. Manchester United looking for a late equaliser. 88 minutes played. Fernandes shoots, the keeper's powered it. On the follow-up, Maguire! Harry Maguire snaffles up the chance. Manchester United might well have salvaged something right at the end. He used to play under Marco Silva, and Fulham's bad luck continues at Old Trafford. 1-1, they just couldn't hold out.
You asked me about Manchester United needed a leader, somebody who's determined with desire. He was the one who made it in the middle of the penalty area, determined, backing in, sending it across. Finally gets his better look as the ball deflects off the goalkeeper. He just swings that left foot and puts it in the net. What a turnaround for Harry Maguire.
Well, he did ever so well in the build-up. And Bruno Fernandes on the left-hand side. He waited. Maguire had stayed forward. The cross that was fired in. They'll be looking at a potential offside from McTominay, who did try to extend his right foot. This will go to a VAR check. The drama isn't over as we go to Selhurst Park and a goal. John Southall.
Well, I've got a VAR check here as well, Ian. It's Crystal Palace 3, Burnley 0. Burnley think they've scored. Fofana with the header from 6 yards out, looking for a possible offside. Arsenal, who was standing in front of the goalkeeper. This has gone on for a long time, this. Palace 3, Burnley. Has it been disallowed? I think it's been disallowed. So it's Palace who still lead by 3 goals to 0.
And looking at this one, Bassi has actually got an outstretched leg. This should be onside. It does stand. Calvin Bassi just planted a leg further back, and he played as a result everybody onside. 1-1, goal stands.
I mean, it's so close, isn't it? It's just that slight step back. But you see Leno on the halfway line with Michael Oliver going crazy. He gets a yellow card. Sensational ending to this game at Old Trafford. Now what's going to happen? Look, Maguire, it's just that determined run that he gets those rewards, but such a tight one.
And now we go into 9 minutes of stoppage time. Manchester United 1, Fulham 1. And Fulham, who had so many chances, didn't take them, eventually pegged back, and Harry Maguire with the equalising goal. Notts County 1, Crewe 3 is the latest score. Livingston bottom of the table have equalised. Ross County 2, Livingston 2. Let's get an update from Merrifield. Chris Jones.
3.5 minutes gone. Scotland 0, England 0. Bright, enterprising start. Scotland almost got away. England almost got away. Scotland now feeding the scrum inside their own 22. 0-0 after almost 4 in.
Commentary of that on Sports Extra. Manchester United now are going for an improbable winner. After saying so long that they don't look like scoring, they have. And now they're looking to try and get a late winner. McTominay pops up in the penalty area and he fires it across the face of goal. Rashford and Garnacho were expecting the cutback. What a game football is.
It's crazy, just a couple of minutes. The atmosphere, the energy all around the stadium is McTominay. He's got energy. Fulham lose the ball poorly actually, and he just runs off the shoulder. At that point, tries to just fizz the ball across. It was sort of a cross shot as it just drifted across the 6-yard area out the opposite side, but big chance for Man United.
Mansfield 4, Salford 1 is the latest score in League 2. Leno testing the patience of the crowd with his time that he takes to take the goal kick. It's 1-1 here at Old Trafford. Still to give you the latest scores in the Championship. The result earlier of those 2 playoff contenders was Hull City 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. These are latest scores. Blackburn 1, Norwich 1, Cardiff 2, Stoke 1, Ipswich 2, Birmingham 1. They'll go level with Leeds United. Break off, Bruno Fernandes from distance, spooned away by the goalkeeper. Only as far as Amad Diallo. Tries to pull it back. Here is Rashford. Manchester United with Rashford. No, he just can't get a side of it. Partial clearance. Gallo inside the penalty area, right-hand side. All Manchester United now. Eriksson with the cross. The header from Lindelof. Saved by by Leno, just inside the crossbar. What a frantic finish. Middlesbrough 0, Plymouth 2. QPR 2, Rotherham 1. Sheffield Wednesday down to 10 men. Still lead Bristol City 2-1. Southampton 1, Millwall 2. Sunderland 1, Swansea 2. Watford 1, Huddersfield 2. We've got 6 minutes remaining.
Oh, it's got it's finally opened up. Victor Lindelof getting in the penalty area. You see Maguire now in a little bit of a tussle, but as the ball comes up, as initially Bruno Fernandes gets his shot away and he gets caught. He's feeling the pain from it, but they kept it alive. Manchester United just couldn't get it through, but it's end to end now.
It's absurd, you know, because up until Harry Maguire had equalised, you couldn't see Manchester United scoring. Now, you wouldn't be surprised, albeit with 5-6 minutes remaining, that they'd go on and snatch this.
Just got to be careful though, because you know that counter's there from Fulham, but the momentum's up. Players want to know. That's the difference. As soon as they get that lift, and that's the questions that are being asked of these Manchester United players when it's tough, seem to disappear a little bit.
Eriksen wants the ball and he gets it. Every outfield player is in the Fulham half. Playing from right to left. Garnacho on this near side in front of the main stand. Back towards Eriksen. Fulham have got everybody back. Eriksen tries to drill it into the feet of Fernandes. Traore will try and dispossess him. Eriksen though wins it back. The turnover. Bruno Fernandes! Spilled by the goalkeeper. Turned behind by Diop. All United now.
The goalkeeper's got to do better. He parries it. So Diop in a good position to clear it away. Red shirt's ready to bounce. Bruno Fernandes, wonderful strike.
BBC Radio 5 Live, the World Service and BBC Sounds. Manchester United coming on really strong. Corner kick in front of the Stretford end. Eriksen to take it. The header towards the far post. Played back in, takes the deflection again off Diop and turned behind for another corner kick for Manchester United from Diallo.
Pressure's on. Manchester United running, trying to take set pieces quickly to keep the pressure on Fulham. They just can't find that breakthrough.
Bruno Fernandes with a corner kick, far side to right. This time he cuts it back, right corner of the area. Eriksen swings over the cross, it's a high one. Maguire is there, heads it, headed out then in that penalty area by Castagna. Kearney now on the counter-attack for Fulham. He's got Iwobi and Traore going on ahead of him. Kearney does well, plays it, holds on to it. Now finds Castagna, near side to right. 5 minutes of added on time. There is 9 to be played at minimum. Traore now for Fulham. Back he cuts towards Castagna. Helps on its way. Muniz with a diving header. Just drops off target. What a game.
Wow, down that right-hand side. Kearney does excellent. He's in Castagna into Traore. The ball comes across the face. Muniz just heads wide. A big chance for Fulham.
Meanwhile in the rugby, England lead. Chris Jones.
On the board, what a try it was as well. Set-piece move from a scrum. Beautiful handling. George Furbank coasting in for his first test try. George Ford banged over the conversion. England lead 7-0 after 7.
That's us just dipping into the sports extra commentary that continues. The rugby coming up here on 5 Live. We're in stoppage time at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Fulham 1. Villa still lead Forest 4-2. Brighton Hove Albion 0. Everton 1. Billy Gilmore sent off for the home side. Burnley had Josh Brownhill sent off as they trail 3-0 at Crystal Palace. And now Manchester United with Fernandes outside the area, looking for the run of Lindelof. He just couldn't take it in his stride. He'll still prevent it going behind for a goal kick, but it will be a Fulham throw deep inside their own half. Full-time at Ewood Park in the Championship, Ellen Ellard.
Blackburn 1, Norwich 1. Nunes opened the scoring for the playoff chasing visitors. Blackburn finally equalised on 56 minutes through Dom High, and points shared. The hosts just 4 points above the drop. Norwich, on the other hand, up to 7th, 3 points off the playoffs. Blackburn 1, Norwich 1.
Traore for Fulham, nicks it past Maguire. He'll leave Maguire for dead with his pace. Traore now, Fulham on the counter-attack. He's got options here as Traore. One of them is Iwobi. Iwobi in the area. Iwobi! Fulham are back in front, right at the end. Alex Iwobi has secured Fulham's first win at Old Trafford in 21 years. Late drama at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Fulham 2, and a late goal as well at Brighton, Henry Moran.
It's an equaliser for Brighton. The captain, Lewis Dunk, towering header. Brighton 1, Everton 1, 5 minutes into added time.
That was always the danger. You mentioned it, Michael Brown. You said that when United coming on strong, they'd leave themselves open to the counter-attack.
When he had Traore, I knew he had the pace, I knew he had the space. He tips the ball out to the left-hand side. He had so many efforts at Iwobi, and he just wrong-foots it out and cuts it back on this occasion. It's shell-shot round Old Trafford, just as you felt they were going to win it, they've lost it.
Full Bell 0, Lincoln 2 is the latest score in League 1. Now to Ipswich, Becky Ives.
They have sealed the 3 points this afternoon. Amari Hutchinson lashed onto a ball from the midfield, one-on-one with John Ruddy, the Birmingham keeper, and was decisive into the bottom corner of the net. Ipswich 3, Birmingham 1.
Iwobi placed it perfectly.
one for finishing naturally. We've seen that in the first half, those two big chances that he didn't convert, but it's just the pace of Traore caused all the problems. I'm thinking if Maguire could have fouled him, he would have, but he was already gone.
Now it's with Diallo. Surely there isn't enough time for another goal, is there? We've only got 60 seconds remaining, but it's Diallo bursting, and then his acceleration actually runs the ball out of play for a goal kick. Ipswich then lead by 3 goals to 1 with that news, as we've just heard from Becky Ives. What about the leaders this morning of League Two? Stockport County, Swindon, Lee Blayman.
Stockport 0, Swindon 0. Stockport with so many chances to score, didn't take them, and have been replaced by Mansfield at the top of the table. Stockport 0, Swindon 0.
Yes, Mansfield with a convincing win at home to Salford this afternoon. The full-time scores are coming in. Don't forget the BBC Sport website will give you all the scores, because we are going straight to the rugby after we've finished here. Full-time at the Stadium of Light. Chris Coles.
Swansea hold on to beat Sunderland by 2 goals to 1. Ronaldo with both Swansea goals in the first half. Sunderland better in the second. 09 heading the back into it, but they couldn't turn their late pressure into an equaliser. Sunderland 1, Swansea 2.
Anthony has come on. It's his 24th birthday today. He's on for the last 60 seconds to replace Lindelof. Full-time now at Southampton, Aaron Paul.
Southampton 1, Millwall 2. Vintage from Millwall. Goals from Tanganga and Fleming have given Neil Harris a huge 3 points. Southampton 1, Millwall 2.
Missed opportunity then for Southampton, with Ipswich winning after Leeds United's win last night at the top of the Championship. Michael, this has been a terrific game to watch. Manchester United 1, Fulham 2. The 9 minutes are all but up. How would you sum it up?
Well, it's all about the level of performance from Fulham. They've stuck at task. They maybe defend out too early, putting that back free and got punished, but the determination that kept going, they kept making forward runs, and Manchester United haven't been able to deal with them all afternoon, really, and they've deserved this win. It was a big win for Fulham Football Club.
And it's certainly costly for Manchester United because of this result at Villa Park. Pat Murphy.
Villa 4, Nottingham Forest 2. Spectacular game, full of rubbish defending and excellent goals. Villa beat Forest 4-2.
Thank you, Pat. All the reaction to come on the 5 Live Football Daily Pod, because as soon as the full-time whistle here, we're going to go straight to Murrayfield. That's a yellow card shown to Tom Kearney for kicking the ball away. But by my watch, the 9 minutes are up, and Fulham are so close to getting what will be a big win for them, bearing in mind that they haven't won away from home since the opening day.
Well, that's amazing. They're missing their best player as well. Let's not forget that. Fellaini in the middle of the pitch, suspended today. Last few seconds, it's just that wait, that delay when you're on the pitch. It's such a big one that you just keep fighting, hoping that clock ticks and the referee makes that decision. They might have a chance here, Deno.
Over 10 minutes remaining. Garnacho, was he clipped? The referee will give the free kick. No, he won't. Instead, he signals the final whistle. And the game is finished, and Fulham have got their first success at Old Trafford since 2003. It's a deserved win for Marco Silva's side. It's a damaging defeat, though, for Manchester United. Their 10th defeat, more than the whole of last season, as Erik Ten Hag goes onto the pitch to try and get his captain away from remonstrating with the match official. Full time, though, here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Fulham 2, but we're all about the live sport. So straight to Murrayfield, Scotland, England, in the company of Chris Ashton, Johnny Beattie, Matt Dawson and Chris Jones.
And the 22. Welcome, listeners to 5 Live. Thank you very much, Ian Dennis. What an ending at Old Trafford. Fulham nicking it at the death. And all the scores coming in here on 5 Live. We will have the full roundup of those full times and all the big news from across the Football League. But here at Murrayfield, England have made a strong start. They lead Scotland by 7 points to 0 after that George Furbank try. They've got a turnover. They've seen some space. Has George Ford executed it? No. Duhan van den Boveren